Chris Evans is going to be in Avengers. Chris Evans says he's not going to be in Avengers. Doctor Strange, not going to be in Avengers. Wait, Doctor Strange is going to be in Avengers. What the hell's going on? Nobody really knows, but we're going to talk about that. Do we believe any of this? I don't know. Do you guys care about Romy and Michelle? You think that's a sequel that should be made? Or is it perfect for streaming in general? Jake Gyllenhaal, Shyamalan, they're teaming up. Hell yeah. So much to talk about today on the show. Mike Kalinowski jumping from show to show to try to get himself a win this week. Figured, hey, Steph, she won last week, so I'll go there. And he popped on Capes and Cows last week to try to do it and ate it. So we'll see if he can do that today. All right. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Make sure you hit that button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. It's myself, Steph Sabra, Mike Kalinowski. Here we go. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's Kristian Harloff Show today. This is Thursday, and joining me on the show every Thursday, Steph Sabra.
Every Thursday.
You are here every
Guaranteed.
Thursday. You won last week when they said that you couldn't do it. They said you couldn't beat Capes and Cows. You did it with like 25 questions as we're about to leave the show, and you do it. Someone predicted that Roka would say the reason why was because you're attractive, and that is exactly what Roka said.
Oh my
so we
gosh.
Know it. He also said because you're witty. So that also
yeah.
That goes too. Now look, there's ways to try to win. One of those ways to try to win is to jump from show to show, hoping that today will be your day. Who knows better than this guy? Am I right or am I right? Steph, do you agree with what I'm putting down here?
I hear you. I am bitter that you just like do you not believe in what we have going here?
He's going to tell you it's something to do with his work schedule. Go ahead.
Are you talking to me, Steph, or this guy?
You leave me. We are together either Wednesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah,
we're the partners on Kristian's show.
Yeah.
Well, last week you asked me to go to Capes and Cows, and I said sure, but I was like, I can't do Thursday though.
Right.
I can do Tuesday. Yeah, it's an albatross that hangs around my neck. I think it's gonna. I'm like Don Quixote chasing windmills here, guys. It ain't gonna happen.
2 shows last week, not a win.
0,
not a win. But Steph, it was a close battle, though. I'll tell you that. Mike and Winston got very close.
It was by like 3 votes at the end.
Something like that. Yeah, but today you got to beat Roxy again. Today you got to beat Roxy. Roxy standing at 110.
Oh, for else.
110.
110.
Yeah.
Good girl.
She had a good run. Roka was in the 70s. Roxy had 110. So she was again trying to prove that you can do it solo, and to see if she can beat the returning Coy Jandro tomorrow with Winston. So we'll see if that happens. But don't count out Steph. Throw your questions in there now. It's always good if going into the question section, if you got around like 30 going into it, you're looking pretty smooth right now. We haven't started. These two are at 11 already. Look at that.
Yeah, you got to show and support. Give me compliments that have. It's not my fault. I'm pretty. I have a lot of other things, as you all know, to offer. So
that's right. That's exactly right. Okay, we have things to discuss, and I'm glad that Mike's on the show too, because I'm kind of guessing what his response is going to be to this, but I'm curious.
Boy.
I'm curious.
Let me just say this. Real quick.
Here we go. Before I even start, go ahead.
I was coming in hot today.
Yes.
Because not only did I have the leaf blower going, I had the pressure washer today.
Oh
no.
And they stopped right as we started the show.
Oh, good. So you feel better because you knew. You just knew that because you knew that it's like these people are never going to let this go.
Nah.
It'll turn into another bit, and that's what we love.
Yep.
So, all right. Now we can get to this, and here it is. The Avengers, Doomsday. Chris Evans says, He denies the report that he is set to return. He says, I'm happily retired. Chris Evans has called December's report that he's set to make his MCU return for the upcoming Avengers Doomsday not true, claiming that he is happily retired. Mark Cassidy writes, late last year, The Wrap reported that Chris Evans will make his return to the MCU for Marvel Studios' next big event movie, Avengers Doomsday. Fans expected Evans to show up as Steve Rogers in Secret Wars anyway, but it was nice to finally have confirmation that the OG Sentinel of Liberty would be suiting up for action once again. Wasn't the first time we've heard plans were in place to have Evans return to the role, but the actor has always denied the reports, and he continues to do so! ! In Esquire's profile of our new Captain America, Anthony Mackie, the brave new world star, revealed that he reached out to Evans after the news broke, but was met with denial. I didn't know. I don't know. I talked to Chris a few weeks ago, and it wasn't on the table then. At least he didn't tell me it was on the table, because I asked him. I was like, they said they're bringing everyone back for the movie. Are you coming back? Evans told his Avengers co-star that he was happily retired, and Esquire got the same response. It's not true, though. He said of the reports of his MCU return that this always happens. I mean, it happens every couple of years. Ever since Endgame, I've just stopped responding to it. Yeah, no, I'm happily retired. The last time we saw Rogers, he had handed his iconic shield over to his friend Sam Wilson after deciding to remain in the past and live out his life with Peggy Carter in Endgame. We had assumed that if Evans did make his MCU return, that he would be playing a multiversal variant, but that's not the only possibility. Evans appeared as Johnny Storm, Human Torch, in Deadpool and Wolverine, and there have been rumors that he might not be done with the old Fantastic Four role. So will it be Rogers or Storm or someone else entirely? Jeff Schneider recently said that he heard that Evans will actually be playing Nomad. I'll have Mike explain that. Though several characters have led this mantle in the comics, the name was originally introduced as an alternate identity that Steve Rogers adopted after he abandoned the Captain America costume and the title. If it's accurate, it remains to be seen which version of Rogers suits up as Nomad in the movie. It's highly unlikely to be the original unless he's really up to his calisthenics regime. So a variant from another timeline reality makes the most sense. There's also speculation it could be evil Avengers, which could see Nomad join forces with Downey, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so let's start with the first thing here, and that's the old Liam Neeson story, as we call it, when Liam Neeson said, I'm not coming back to Obi-Wan. I'm not going to be doing that. Not me. Andrew Garfield. No, I'm not in Spider-Man. I'm not in that. No way, Josh Hartz. I'm not doing that. Marion Cotillard. Nope. I'm not Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Nope, not me. BS. Nonsense. Lies is what they say in some parts of town. I think this is another bold-faced lie. Steph, what do you say?
Okay, maybe I'm naive, but it feels like there is a slight difference between this situation and the others, in the sense that we have seen Captain America for like 20 years with Chris Evans. He has done so much. Like some of the other ones that you brought up, like Obi-Wan, it's like it had been 20 years since we saw him. Yep. And so there was more of a need to bring him back. I think, yeah, it's probably more than likely that he will return, because it feels like Marvel's in this mode where they want to still bring back those heavy hitters that they had for so many years. But on my end, it feels like not necessary. Are you looking forward to him returning, or does it feel like you're just like seeing through what this is?
No, because I look, I do think there's an argument, and I understand where Mike's probably going to go with it, that because he's talked about it in the past, that you just seem like you're getting nervous that your movie's bombed, so you're just grabbing everybody and bringing them back. But there's two answers I think that can counter that, and the first is, well, this is a multiverse saga that they're going to be cleaning up and finishing it, and if they're going to bring everybody back, this is the way to do it, because it's a multiverse thing. You can bring back variants, you can do it, you can get people excited, get people in the theater. The other part of it is that, I was thinking about this morning. It's a comic book, right? The whole thing's a comic book. And when people are like, why do you got to bring people back? They brought Captain America back, the character, many times. Iron Man. They're just like, well, that story's over. We're never going to bring Spider-Man back ever again now. You can get them, you bring them back. I know movies and comics are different, but if it works for this story, I don't have a problem with them trying to bring them back. I have a problem with them just bringing them back to be, well, this time it's going to be evil Cap just because we want to make it evil Cap. And it's like, if it works for the story, sure. But I can't say because I haven't seen it. But Mike, right. First of all, do you believe that he's not coming back?
It's tough to say. He thinks the same thing. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like you said, you listed off all these people, and it seems like because this thing starts shooting like next month, doesn't it? Like in March, I think they said.
It's soon. Soon.
Like they're just gonna start filming. So clearly, it's not a matter of like I haven't heard, I don't know.
Right.
But to the second point, here's the thing. I was talking about this the other day with a buddy of mine. We don't even know where Steve Rogers is in this world right now.
Right.
The last time we saw him 6 years ago, he was an old man sitting on a bench.
Right.
So what's going on? Like there was talk that they were going to create a Nomad TV series, which was going to be Evans returning the stones. And that was his thing, going around the world or through time, returning the stones and seeing that what we didn't see in Endgame. But you got to establish what he's been doing for 6 years.
Right.
And I know like we're going into Brave New World and everyone's, for the longest time, the fans were rightfully so like, Jesus, you had this giant celestial stuck in the ocean and you didn't address it. Like that's a world-changing event. And now people are like, well, Captain America's coming out. That's going to address it. 6 years later.
I know.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
It's going to show up in Brave New World and the audience is going to be like, oh, that's cool that's there. Why is that there? They're not going to, the Eternals from 6 years ago. That makes sense.
It's right. And it's also, people, it's not a movie, The Eternals, that people go back and watch in the same way. You look at a show like Severance, and it's not doing as well season 2 as season 1. It's a great show so far. I love it. But the problem is for those people who did watch it, and I had this issue also, I watched that season recap and I still had to try to remember everything that was going on because it had been so long. And the difference between, not only the similarity of it being so long with the Eternals, I mean, I guess 3 or 4 years, still, it's not a movie like that. You're like, oh, it's out on digital now. It's out on Disney Plus. I'm going to watch it. It's like, how many times have you rewatched the Eternals? I'm going to do my rewatch, Sam's first time with that one for MCU, and it'll be the second time I think that I've ever seen it. I believe.
Yeah, I've seen it twice. Once in the theater, and then once for a schmodown, like getting ready for a match.
Wow, do we even? that's funny.
We did cover it, yeah.
But
it was like, wow. You make a great point. It's like I love the TV series The Old Man.
Yeah,
and season 2 came out, and that had only been like a year and a half. I was like, I gotta rewatch the first season. I don't remember a lot of it.
Forgot, right? And that's
a major plot point. So with Steve Rogers, I think a lot of people forget. Like we don't know where he is. They never address that,
right?
So for him to show up, and then if he's going to pop up as a bad guy, like
who's he going to be? Right? But that's one side of the story, which rightfully so. The questions that should be asked. But the overall question of him going, I'm retired. It's like I don't believe actors anymore when it comes to this stuff because they're told not to say anything, and they're told keep it a secret. And however, that wasn't the case with Benedict Cumberbatch because he said, nope, I'm not in it. And then I guess someone called him and said, yeah, you are. He's like, oh, I am in it. He didn't even know what the hell was going on. So Avengers Doomsday will have Doctor Strange after all. That's right. Benedict Cumberbatch has corrected his own quotes. Not anybody else, just himself. And he says in a lengthy feature piece on Variety last week, he was first saying he wasn't expected to be in Doomsday, which will begin filming shortly in the UK. He added at the time that the reasoning was due to the character not aligning with this part of the story. He then confirmed that Doctor Strange will be in a lot of Avengers Secret Wars, saying he's quite central to where things might go. He then teased Doctor Strange 3. Cumberbatch was in Sundance this week promoting the indie film The Thing with Feathers, in which he plays a grieving father. Speaking with Business Insider, he was asked if Marvel sent a stern letter after those comments last week. He responded, I got that wrong. I am in the next one. When told about other Marvel stars straight up lying about their involvement in certain films, Cumberbatch reportedly smirked and said, don't ever believe anything I say. The film will see Robert Downey Jr. in a new role as Doctor Doom, with his character expected to be the main focus, while other actors will have smaller roles. I love these comments because he ends it and he says the right thing. He says, don't believe anything I say. That's what every actor should say. And they should say, hey, if I was asked that question, and if I was Chris Evans, whoever it was, hey, you're gonna be in this one? Here's what I'm gonna tell you. And I'm gonna tell you no matter what. Believe me or don't believe me, but I probably say don't believe me. And my answer to your question is I might not be in it, I might be in it, or who knows? And that's all I would say. Because you can't lie.
Prance off like a leprechaun.
There's no lie. Yeah, right. But there's no lie. There's no lie there. It's like I might be, I might not be in it. I am. It's like you just basically you know, and then someone goes, oh, okay, well, you're not really saying anything. But to say like, oh, they ask that all the time and I don't even respond to that nonsense anymore. You're going to show up because he's just trying to, and rightfully so, he's trying to make it fun for everybody. Benedict Cumberbatch is like, I'm not in it. And then someone told him like, you are. He's like, oh, I am. It was like, I guess because.
So you think he knew the whole time?
I don't know. Maybe they shot the things.
Yeah, because I saw some comments that were, I don't know, and that basically were like, I feel like this is showing us that Marvel doesn't know what they're doing, so they're just adding characters in late in the game and then doing separate film days with them, so they don't even know what they filmed for necessarily.
Right.
And that was worrying some people because it felt like that was not indicative of a plan, but it could be him just screwing around too.
It could be. Mike, what do you think?
I mean, look at back at Endgame with the funeral of Tony Stark. They all thought they were there for a wedding. Like that's how they said
right.
What they were shooting was a wedding. So they don't even let the actors know. And again, I get it because you get like a Ruffalo. Like I'm not big on the whole Tom Holland. I'm so cute. Look at me slipping with my camera and telling stuff. But like Ruffalo was genuinely funny watching him. Like, oh, I can't talk about that. I'm not supposed to say that. Like
he literally said everybody dies in Infinity War.
Yeah, I love watching him because it's so genuine. And he's just like, the whole playing coy about it. And I'm just like.
I know.
Like,
I mean,
if I was like, what do you guys want me to say? You want me to say I'm in it? Do you want me to ruin the movie for you?
Right.
You're not be in it. You'll be disappointed.
Right. Like you don't want to know. I would just say, go see the movie. I'm either going to be in it or I'm not.
No, hey, guess what? 6 months from now, you'll know if I was in it or not.
Right. That's the better answer, right? It's like, hey, go see the movie. I'm either going to be in it or I'm not.
Yeah.
That's the answer. That's how every actor should.
You're either going to be disappointed that I'm in it, or you're disappointed that I just that I'm in it.
Right. Like I could be. I could not be. So that's the answer I'm going to give you. Don't lie.
You could also say like, well, I was in it, but the part got cut out because it got moved to part 2. Like I think a lot of Renner's stuff did for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like because he was in it filming it, and then he didn't end up in Infinity War. And he's in like.
Right. So you don't.
I get that pundits have a job to do, but
sure,
you're not going to get the answer out of them that you want.
No, and if you do, it's going to be the big mistake, and then the finger pointed at the person. But either way, it's like this. But this also, it's interesting because. Maybe he thought he wasn't supposed to say anything. They're like, no, it's okay. You can say anything because it's not a big surprise that you're in it because we're going to promote with you. So if we maybe they're not going to promote with Evans. Maybe like Evans is supposed to show up and you're not supposed to know that he's in it. It's supposed to be a surprise. Like if Cumberbatch is going to be promoted with the movie, then they're like, yeah, you can talk about it because once we start promoting this thing, you're going to be front and center. You know, we want people to know that you're in it. We don't want people to know Evans is in it. So there could be a difference. I don't know. What do you guys think, man? Do you like this? Do you like the idea that both these guys could be coming back? Should they both be coming back? What do you say? Let me know. We got stuff. We got things to talk about. We have more things to talk about. We have a bunch of different stories, some rumors, reports, new movies that are coming out and whatnot. But before we do that, I got to tell you, thank you so much for everybody. I got a bunch of people yesterday on my Instagram who DM'd me and say, hey, I signed up to some of your sponsors. Does it really help you out? I said, it sure does. And these are the ones that they signed up to. So take a look. Coffee. And it's Christmas time for me because Trade Coffee is back. I love Trade Coffee, and I've been using Trade Coffee forever since they were on the show last time, and they're back again. For people who make coffee at home, it only takes a minute to transform your coffee routine forever, because that's from our buddies over at Trade. Because with Trade, you discover the secret to making amazing coffee. It's starting with coffee beans, and they match it to your taste, roast it to order, and they deliver it directly from America's top small batch roasters. That's what I dig. It's a coffee subscription, which is the best. So no matter how you brew or what coffee you make, getting coffee from Trade is the easiest way to instantly upgrade your at-home coffee experience. It is the #1 subscription coffee in the U.S., bringing you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top small batch roasters. You take their quiz, and in a minute or less, they match you with the perfect coffee. If that first bag is not right, no problem. Trade is going to replace it until they nail it. It's so good. I've been using Trade forever. Koi Jandro is going to be super pumped to hear that they're back. Also,
Oh my God, the last thing I need is coffee.
he loves it. He loves it, and I'm telling you, I won't. It's like that smell when you woke up as a kid and you just smell the coffee in the house. That's what it reminds me of for trade. So don't settle for okay coffee. Head to drinktrade.com/big thing. You're going to receive up to 3 bags for free. Drinktrade.com/big thing to get up to 3 bags for free with any new subscription. Go and get yourself some trade. I'm telling you, that is the best. I can't even tell you how many times I've told you about AG1. AG1 is the best. It is part of my routine every single day. I absolutely love it. This new year just started. You got to try AG1 for yourself. It is the perfect time to start a new healthy habit. I've been partnered with AG1 forever. I mean, for as long as I've started this show, they've been with us. You guys know that. AG1 is offering new subscribers free $76 gift when you sign up. You get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. You got to make sure you go to drinkag1.com/big thing to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/big thing. And you start your new year out on a healthier note. If you want to set some new year goals, for me, that's what I did, and I'm already feeling good. I get some good energy on it. It makes me feel healthy, and AG1 supports that. When I drink AG1 in the morning, I know I'm starting my day off right. I get good sleep quality. It is the best. So make sure you go and you check it out. You are going to appreciate it. I promise. And let's talk about it. I've talked to you guys before in the past about Robinhood. You guys know, you've heard me discuss. Well, I'm going to discuss with you once again. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash-in non-retirement accounts. It's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Now, to receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contribution, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year. First match must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. You got to go to robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rates claim is based on the data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. So thank you to Robinhood here for. Happy to have Robinhood, AG1, of course, Trade Coffee. So excited, Steph. I knew you were going to be excited when I told you Trade Coffee was coming back. That's the one thing you got to miss the smell of the old office when the Trade Coffee was brewing. I know.
I'd have to just order it.
Yeah. Well, you can now use that code.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we have some more stories. Before we do, you guys are already at 17. Only with 23 minutes into the show so far, it's pretty damn good. 17 questions. Can just need under 100 to.
Don't sweet talk me, Harloff. Don't sweet talk me.
It really has nothing to do with you, to be honest.
Is that for Steph's ego?
Yeah, I think she's earned it. This is the only person I've ever seen when the show's about to sign off with like 30 questions come back and get over 100. It's insanity. She's done it twice.
Insanity.
You understand me?
Yeah, she's done it twice. All right, this one is for my own ego. And I'm going to read this story in general because I think eventually people are going to be apologizing to this show, but we'll see. And I'm looking at you, PLD. Star Wars rumor roundup. Henry Cavill is in talks for the role. Updates on Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor returning. This is from Mark Cassidy. We have a roundup of some intriguing Star Wars related rumors that have been shared online, including a possibility update on Henry Cavill joining the galaxy far, far away. Some interesting Star Wars related rumors have been doing the rounds over the last few days, but since most of them really serve as an update on previous reports, we've gathered them together in this roundup. I'll start with the recent report that Ewan McGregor could be set to return as Obi-Wan Kenobi. For some reason, there was a scooper who took that credit when we broke that on this show around 2 or 3 weeks ago, just saying. For the second season of Ahsoka, it was Daniel Rickman apparently who took the credit for doing that. Well, that's not the case. He also claims to have confirmed. Yeah, well, that was already. He's claimed to have confirmed that McGregor. We did that 3 weeks ago. So Daniel Rickman did nothing of the sort. Jedi Master, we're still not sure how the character will factor into the story. Since Ahsoka is part of the Mandoverse and takes place after Kenobi's death, we assume that he'll either be a Force ghost or appear to Ahsoka Tano in the World Between Worlds, as Anakin did in season 1. Next up, the Hot Mike's Jeff Schneider has heard that Natalie Portman actually shot at least one scene as Padme for Disney's Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but it never made the cut. This could give credence to the rumor that Thor Love and Thunderstar will reprise the role for Ahsoka season 2. Aha! Moving on to the big screen, corner of the galaxy far, far away, My Time to Shine Lows is reporting that Henry Cavill is now in talks for an undisclosed role in an upcoming Star Wars movie. This follows a previous rumor that Cavill is being eyed apart in the new Star Wars trilogy that Simon Kinberg was tapped to write and produce last year. I forgot all about that movie already. Here's what Cavill had to say about Star Wars. I'm a fan of them. I would have to read a script and speak to a director before I could possibly say if I'd be interested in a movie. As simple as, yes, it'd be fun and ideal. But if the script sucks, you got to keep your fingers crossed that it works. Finally, we've heard that Charmin Obed-Chinoy's Rey-focused movie will feature at least one other previous established character from the sequel trilogy. John Boyega will be returning, obviously. There's been a lot of speculation that it could be John Boyega, but there are obviously several other possibilities. Here's what Naomi Ackel, who was introduced as former Stormtrooper Jannah in The Rise of Skywalker, had to say about returning with Screen Rant. Ask them. Star Wars, get it together. I get a call. We'll see what happens. I'll see if I'm free. That's hilarious.
Did she really say that?
Yes, I love that.
Now that's what you do.
It's the best.
That's how you handle that.
That is the best quote I've ever heard.
Holy
best.
Crap, that's awesome.
Hey, Star Wars, get it together. Yeah, give me a call, and I'll tell you if I'm out in the back doing sunbathing or whatever.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. It was a fantastic quote. I love that quote.
Get it together.
Yeah, this is why. But I'll tell you, this is why I don't do scoops. Like, we literally, for anybody who watches this show, the Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen thing, we did that 3 weeks ago. One guy who scoops a lot puts it out, and then they're like, "Oh, look what he says." It's like, well, what the hell are you talking about? And then the other thing was that I'm telling you that Natalie Portman thing. I told somebody, I was like, they're like, "Oh, well, we heard it's not true." I said, "I don't care what you heard. I heard that it was." So if they, I'm just telling you, for those people, for that one guy that wrote L after one other site said it wasn't true. If she's in it, you got to come on the show and say, I was wrong. And we got to let Big Balls drape his nuts on your face.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Right? What do you think about that? He should, right?
I think, you have to serve your time, and that feels like a punishment worthy of the crime.
Right. You got it. You see, me and you we're locked in.
Just get each other.
So look, let me show you something.
Okay.
You are tough ass. You are bitch ass.
Oh.
Tough ass. Bitch ass. That's right. Look at me. Now look down. Look down. Oh, you're muted. That's good. See, you know your role. Yeah. Nope. Not gonna do it. Now look at my balls.
Big balls. I'm bigger balls.
That's fine. You bitch ass.
That's right.
You're my lady.
Hey.
I like it. See, do you wear those ears for me?
Yes, I'm just trying to show you that I'm an ally.
Hell yeah. See? As they say in Kansas. Fuck yeah.
Exactly. I love that state.
So much to talk with a lot of these rumors here. Let's go with the Padme one and the that stuff. I think it's very possible that she'll show up. It as I mentioned when I initially talked about it, he wants her to come back. So they shot the stuff for Obi-Wan. If she does a little World Between Worlds thing, it's not going to be a major role. She'd be something like, hey, there you go, pops in, that's it. So I still think that's very, very possible. The Henry Cavill stuff. It's the same thing with Ryan Gosling. How great would it be though if he was actually not in the Kinberg one and he was Henry Cavill was actually in the Ryan Gosling one also? Then you're building a cast. What do you think about that stuff?
Yeah, that would be really awesome. It's just so hard for me to get into these wishing for Star Wars things to happen now, but that would be cool. I mean, Henry Cavill is definitely on the market for another huge franchise, I would think. But it seems as though he's doing a little bit more like my Guy Ritchie and him have
Yeah.
been working a lot together. It feels like he's kind of phasing out of that and getting more into like a little more adult. I don't know what the term is because still action, but I don't know. I know he's a nerd at heart, so I feel like he would, like he said, love to come back. But I do think he's right where I really do think he's like looking at the scripts. He's not just gonna come back, just come to Star Wars because it's Star Wars.
Right. Exactly. What do you think, Mike?
You know, I don't know because I'm probably in the minority on this, but when it comes to Star Wars, like give me a Daisy Ridley, give me a John Boyega, give me a Adam Driver, like actors that I'm not familiar with in a bigger sense. Cavill's Cavill, man. He's been Superman. His face is everywhere. So when I see him in this film, unless it's in a, could be prosthetic or something or a mask, I'm like, that's Henry Cavill in Star Wars, no matter how good he is. Like, the Star Wars, the best Star Wars from the beginning. Luke, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, we didn't know them.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Then the new generation, even as much as Ewan McGregor he wasn't big at the time. What he did, Train Spotting maybe?
Well, Alec Guinness was pretty damn big at that time.
Yeah, but not for me, it wasn't.
No, not for you. But
2-year-old, 3-year-old?
Sure. But for the people who were your age now.
No, but that's what you're saying. You said that's like for The Force Awakens, and you get Max von Sydow in there.
Sure.
That's the caliber you're bringing to these older characters. When your lead character is Henry Cavill, it's like,
yeah. I mean,
you're watching Henry Cavill play Star Wars.
I think that it depends. I think that if it is Gosling and Cavill together, it could definitely be distracting. But it depends on the role overall. I still would like to see Henry Cavill start playing bad guys. I think because I like that Guy Ritchie movie also, Mike. I like that a lot. He wasn't a bad guy in that, but he had a real dark side.
The Ministry of Gentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah. I thought you loved that. Didn't you see it?
I liked it. It was it was one of those ones that I was like, I thought I was going to love it. And when it came out, I was like,
so who was it? Was it Roka then?
I loved it.
Underwhelming.
I know you loved it. I know you did. I was trying to think.
I enjoyed it. I thought the cast was great.
I really liked that movie. And
I just wanted more from it.
That's fine.
Okay.
But
from him or the movie?
The movie in general.
Okay.
Yeah. My point with him though is that he had a darker side. He wasn't a bad guy, but he had a darker side in that. And I want to see him. I want to see him play bad. I know he did it in Mission Impossible, but I want to see like an actual villain, right? I would love to see that. But whether it's this, whether it is, I mean, maybe even better if it's in Mangold's thing, because I think I might have said Mangold for Gosling, and he's in Levy's movie, not Mangold's. But either way, I like having some star power, not the whole thing.
Yeah, and also I'm really getting like insane PTSD right now of Jack Black and Lizzo. Something about the way that they're now. I think Jude Law did a good job, but sometimes when they have these massive celebrities, it's like I don't know what it is, but it's like I feel like I'm in Galaxy's Edge, and I'm like,
I know what you're saying. Like
they're dressed up,
right? I understand that point. I really do. I think that the difference, like Lizzo, though, that's like an actor or not. That's just a singer who they're like, okay, hey, so and so's singing, and they literally said, I think it was Jon Favreau or someone, I can't remember. Their kids were like massive fans of Lizzo, so they put her in there because, and it's like that's funny. That should not happen, right?
Yeah.
Jack Black the problem with Jack Black, he's such known for comedic acting. The second you see him, he wasn't bad at it. Like I'll tell you what.
It's not.
See you later, Steph.
Yep.
You know who was great though in that same episode? Wow, Mike, how do you feel? It's happened to somebody else.
Look at that. What
the hell happened there?
Oh, now like she's like coming to us from the moon.
Wow.
She's back.
Yeah, you know what's hilarious is that out of the three, they weren't the only two stars of that episode. The third was Christopher Lloyd. He was
right.
Okay, that's a good point.
He was fantastic in that role. He was the best part of that whole entire episode was Christopher Lloyd. And he played the character. He played like you could have easily gone, oh man, that's just Doc Brown. I remember his character. He was just kind of like the old vet that was tired of it all and just turned against the system. Right. I couldn't even tell you. Jack Black was the king and the queen, and I can't remember the dialogue. It was nonsense, and I wanted it off the screen when it was on.
Yeah, it wasn't their fault. It was like it felt like they were like, okay, let's get some star power. Let's make this. It just didn't feel organic. And then I felt like they were just
they're
performing
thrown in
these
there.
roles for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that Cavill and Gosling are going to be thrown in there. I think that they're going to have roles, but like, if it's right after it, then you're like, oh, and then Billie Eilish is going to be in it too. And it's
Right.
like, what are we doing now? Yeah. So I don't know. And then the third part of it is the updates to the Rey movie. Now I'll tell you this. This movie was a movie that we've talked about where we're like, okay, here we go again with this movie. They don't know what the hell they're doing with it. They lose another writer. Now they finally got another writer. Rey's coming back. She says she's coming back. We don't know if she's coming back. Okay, she finally is. They signed her for a deal. Is John Boyega coming back? Nobody knows. They're going to launch this. This is going to be the first movie they do after Mandalorian and Grogu. And we all said that's a mistake because if you do that, you're really asking for it because the audience is waiting. They're ready for, unity again. And there's a lot of people who love Rey. I happen to be one of those people. I think she's great. I love Daisy Ridley, and I think that she should have been given a better trilogy to lead. I really think she's great. I'm excited to see her come back as Rey, but I don't think it's the right move to follow Mandalorian and Grogu with because that's a fourth season of a television show that's coming on screen. The first real big movie that they're bringing back. To have her, I don't think is the right move because it's just bringing back the sequel trilogy. Well, they're not doing that. And they're what they're going to do, most likely it's going to go Mangold, Levy, and then this movie. That's a smart move. That makes sense to me. It gives you time to really get it right. So, Mike, thoughts on that? Plus, do you think that it is Boyega that will return or will it be someone else?
Oh, that's a lot to digest there. I think it's a good move. It's funny you said that about the Filoni film. Do you think they're going to sit there and go, yeah, you don't need to watch a television show. Audiences can go right into this.
Dude, this is literally, it's his Moana. This is the same thing with Moana.
That's going to be crazy. But I would 100% think it's Boyega. I can't think of any other character in that.
Yeah, and they're friends. Her and
sequel
him
trilogy
and Daisy
that would
yeah.
make sense.
Yeah. But do you think
Maybe
that
he'll finally get to tell her what he wanted to tell her?
Right. Do you think this makes sense? Do you think this makes sense, by the way, that that this it's coming out when it probably is coming out? Like yeah.
I think so. I mean, it seems like they can't get traction on it. It seems like every now and then a new writer's coming on board.
Yeah.
But
what about you,
what do
Steph?
I know?
Steph, do you think this is the right decision for them to kind of wait to bring this one out there? And is it Boyega that we're probably going to see?
Yes and yes. I hope it's Boyega. I know that they're going to have to do a lot of convincing. They're going to probably have to go on like a few retreats to build trust with him as he deserves. He's probably going to have like an insane contract that's like, I get some creative rights on my character because if they wanted to bring him back so he doesn't. So I think he has a full scope of where the trilogy is going, which might be helpful if that is the plan to have, him on board because he is become a successful filmmaker of his own and producer. So he probably has good insight. I would love if he comes back. And I think that this is a good call to put this as the third movie, especially Mangold feels
maybe
like
fourth, maybe even fourth.
Yeah.
Because you get Mandalorian and Grogu, and then you would get Mangold, then potentially Sean Levy, which you would assume if they're going to push forward Gosling, then that you're going to get that, and then you would probably get Rey or maybe even Kinberg. I don't know, but I think the Rey one will be the fourth.
And do you think they'll film consecutively?
You mean like be filming
Like
movies at the same
Wicked?
time?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I don't think they're all connected in the same timeline, but that doesn't mean that they both couldn't be filming at the same time.
Not necessarily that, but because when you're talking about releasing this Rey movie that they're working on in years, then we're talking about Daisy Ridley now almost entering her 40s if by the time you film the second movie. So crazy. Like, are they gonna film back to back to back? Do you think?
Because I think that this is the benefit you have with the more time. That's actually an excellent question because the more time you take with this, the wiser Rey you can film with. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need Rey to be in her 30s. You could have Rey in her 40s. You could have Rey in her 50s. Like that just depends on when you want it to land, right? The farther you get, I mean, you look at what Damon Lindelof wanted to do. He wanted to do a version of Rey as Helen Mirren, so like that's way down in the future. But you have this. Take your time. take your time with it. The more years you get, the more the Academy could have grown and all that stuff. So yeah, you take your time with it. But there is an update actually on the Henry Cavill thing that I didn't even realize was already up there. And apparently, this is again Mark Cassidy who said that the news broke. Developing Star Wars trilogy with Simon Kinberg. Rumor followed that Cavill met with Lucasfilm about a potential role, and another reliable insider has backed it up. We don't know which character, but it is said to be talked. But My Time to Shine Hello is reporting that it is a villainous role. Yes. The insider has previously said that Cavill was up for a part in Kinberg's trilogy, but we're not sure that that's still the case. He's appeared in a number of comic books, yada, yada, yada. It was initially reported that these new movies would continue the Skywalker saga with episodes 10, 11, and 12, but this intel has been disputed, and some insiders believe that Kinberg will instead begin a new saga and sits along Star Wars percolating projects with James Mangold, Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy, Taika Waititi. What? Not doing a movie. We're still not certain what Lucasfilm has planned, but a recent report claimed that Daisy Ridley's Rey will be part of the trilogy. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot there, and I love that he's playing a villain. So good, they tapped into that. That's great. So I think it'll happen. I think he'll wind up getting announced. I think they're going to try to go with some star power, and it looks like they're trying to make some kind of plan work. So it feels like in the next 4 or 5 years, we should get some Star Wars heavy stuff. Considering we've had some years just lacking. So
Yeah, do you think that? What do you think in 10 years Disney Plus looks like for Marvel and Star Wars? Do you think they're going to continue with these shows or move back more to focusing on movies? Because it feels like overall I enjoyed a lot of the shows, but it hasn't really pushed the needle forward for either of them.
I don't know, Mike, why don't you answer that question for once?
Oh, can I? Oh,
Yeah.
Don't mind if I do. Steph, I don't know, kid, because apparently, I just saw that big hubbub or whatever about The Acolyte being the second highest watched thing with.
Have we talked about that yet, Mike?
Million minutes. I don't think so, pal.
No, we haven't talked
It
about
came
it.
out
Go
in the
ahead.
middle of the week.
Yeah. Go ahead. We'll talk about it.
So I'm like, but they didn't renew it, and then there's both sides. Well, it wasn't watched. It wasn't good, and then the people are like, oh, it was because of the people involved. They didn't renew it. Disney didn't support their staff and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, when you're comparing it, what are you comparing it to? You're comparing it to Mandalorian? No, then it didn't do any numbers compared to Mandalorian. But it's like, I don't know. I guess Born Again is what I'm really excited for Marvel, but I don't know what's after that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we
don't know what
right.
the next goes for. Think about it. 2-3 years ago, we knew the slates and we knew what was coming,
right.
the timeline.
Right.
Now we're like, all right, Skeleton Crew ended.
What's the plan after that?
Next.
Yeah.
What's next?
Because the answer to that question, Mike,
for Marvel.
Yeah, the answer
Vision
to
Quest, maybe?
Well, they don't really know. They don't. I mean, Marvel knows more than Star Wars does. Star Wars doesn't really know. That's why they stopped doing all these announcements and everything too. But
yeah,
you've got it now. What they do is that they have these plans of the movies and they want to see what works with the movies, and then they should spin stuff up. I mean, this is why I still don't understand why they don't have a writer's room, but like an actual writer's room with comic writers, book writers, screenwriters, the storyboard, the executives, the creators. Put them in one room and say, okay, let's map all this stuff out. We did this ridiculous chart and announced this ridiculous chart. We're going to be doing movies in the Old Republic, in the New Republic, in all of this. When are those movies coming out? Who knows? And it's like, well, what about you guys announced some of the Old Republics, the New High Republic stuff? What about Old Republic? Okay, what about that movie in that time period? We hope it'll work. Thanks for your answers. It's such a disaster. But either way, if they get these ones to work and it actually plays, you're going to start seeing, oh, well, that worked. Let's stay in that. Let's stay there. And let's try to, maneuver there. Well, at least you hope so. So I don't know. What do you guys think about all this? What do you make of all of it? You think that this is something that is going to be good for Star Wars? These cameos and other things. And I don't know. Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. I'll tell you someone who's kind of had a comeback, I think is the right word. M Night, right? Now, I love what he's been doing lately in general and the way that he's been making movies with Blumhouse. I haven't loved all the movies he's done, but I love the way he's doing them. I'll explain more in a second. Jake Gyllenhaal is going to star in Shyamalan's next movie. Gyllenhaal is now set to star in M. Night Shyamalan's new, currently untitled supernatural romantic thriller. Project is based on an original story co-created by Shyamalan and novelist Nicholas Sparks. Shyamalan and Sparks are independently writing the screenplay and a novel, respectively. Both will be based on the same concept and set of characters, but each suited to their respective mediums. It marks the first time Shyamalan will collaborate with a high-profile writer. Plot specifics are under wraps. Shyamalan, Ashwin Rajan, Teresa Park, and Mark Beanstalk will produce. No Jason Blum this time. Shyamalan's films that have amassed more than $3 billion worldwide and is coming off last year's hit Trap. Gyllenhaal had 2 streaming hits in 2024 with Roadhouse and Presumed Innocent TV series. He'll next star alongside Denzel Washington in Othello on Broadway. I love this. I love it because I'll tell you the reason why. Like, even see, and Mike, you and I talk about this all of the time. Trap. When you hear the hit Trap, you go, really? Yeah, because it wasn't made for that much. It wasn't made for that much money. So he's making movies and he knows the business that he's in. He's not out there trying to pretend like it's 2002 anymore. And then everyone, they're going to go see the next Shyamalan film. He's like, no, I'm going to make a movie for $8 million. I'm going to make it's going to make $20 million or $25 million. I'm going to make a little bit of money here. People are going to want to hire me again to do the next one. I can make the stories and do stories that I want to do because I'm not spending too much money for the studios and I'm showing a profit. And I can still do the movies that I like to do. That's how you do it. He's doing it really smart. And there's a reason why the stars want to work with him. And I think this is a great move. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
And Gyllenhaal elevates anything he's in.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great thing. I agree with you, man. I like, it's interesting. You that point you just made. That's how I feel Lee Winnell is, and he just kind of had a miss with Wolf, man, because it didn't make back. I don't think it's going to make back the small budget that it did. So that's disappointing because he's had a great track record with an Upgrade and then Invisible Man. So this is, but like Shyamalan, he's had this strings like, and I wanted to see Trap, but I never got to it. So it's on my HBO Max like watch list. But yeah, man, I think Gyllenhaal's great in it. He's great in everything he does. So that's a win.
What do you think, Steph?
I think I agree with you on M. Night Shyamalan just kind of doing his thing and bothering no one and, making fun. A lot of people find these movies super fun. I like a few of his movies. I haven't seen all of them. There's some that I'm like, it's okay. And no harm, no foul. And Jake Gyllenhaal I like what kind of actor he is. It feels like he just like does whatever script interests him and he doesn't really care if it's a massive blockbuster or not. But like Presumed Innocent and Roadhouse were both really great.
Yeah.
I loved Presumed Innocent.
Yeah.
Presumed Innocent was my shiz. That was great. But
Sadie loved it.
Yeah, it just is like you're at the edge of your seat. I want to stay up all night and finish a show. I love shows like that. So I think this is fun. I haven't seen Trapped either. I heard people had it was like kind of too
I thought
out of control.
It got pretty goofy by the end of it. It was fine. It was pretty goofy. But
you think like Shyamalan is writing these scripts and is like good enough? Or do you think he's like
no, I think they're like, I think he's excited about these. And I think that he puts, I think that sometimes he does the same thing. He did the same thing in Trap that he used to do with himself. He puts like sometimes he gives himself too big of a role. He used to give himself too big of a role. In Trap, he gives his daughter way too big a role. She's just not a good actress. But what?
Did Shyamalan do the Batista cabin movie?
I like that movie.
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot.
All the great
Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
Like it's always
so it's like movies. There's ones like that where I'm like,
That's what I mean. So
about it. The thing he makes, it's always like, all right, there's gonna be some twist. I'm excited. I'm intrigued. It didn't work, but like, so he makes a meal, and when you go to that restaurant, you're gonna enjoy it.
And that's the thing is that you might go to that restaurant that night. I didn't really like the meal. Are you gonna come back? Yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah,
because he's a good chef. And I think that the whole point, like where it's similar to like Kevin Smith too, right? Where Kevin Smith is just making movies for fun. He's making movies for fun. He's making movies for his friends. He makes movies, and he just like, I remember when we saw him at Sundance, and he was doing yoga hosts. He's like, I'm making these movies for me and my friends, and if people are enjoying them and digging them, then so be it.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna coin a phrase here on this show, and it's gonna go viral.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What type of filmmaker that they are? They're like the big fresh of filmmakers.
Okay.
Like you put your subscription in because you like food, you got to eat.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I like this. This is fun. Oh, this one wasn't for me. The chicken curry, I didn't like it. What we got next week? We've got Italian meatloaf. That sounds good. I think I like that. My costs are manageable every month in my subscription. I get a good meal. Sometimes I get a great meal. I like sharing it with my friends. Sometimes it's just me and the girl. Yeah, he's a HelloFresh of filmmakers.
Does he have a streaming deal?
Well, let me tell you something. First of all, Mike, this is why I like you sometimes.
Just sometimes.
But I wish that you would do me a favor in the week of February 10th. I want you to do that again because HelloFresh will be a sponsor.
Are they?
Yeah, they're sponsored.
Yeah, I said that because I was hoping let's get them a sponsorship.
Yeah, we have them. We have HelloFresh. They're coming back. I actually just got their delivery yesterday. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, man. It's gonna go viral. Watch.
All right. Well, we'll do it.
Sunday. He's the HelloFresh of filmmaking.
Perfect. All right, let's do one more story, and then we'll do the questions. So this one is interesting because it kind of goes to what we were just talking about with streaming and other things and lower the costs. And Romy and Michelle, which was a movie that most of this audience probably wasn't even alive when it came out. I don't know if that's true, but a sequel to 1997's Romy and Michelle. How old were you, Steph? 2 years old when the movie came out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
3.
exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
3 years old. Okay.
Right.
So have you ever even seen this movie?
Yes, I like this movie.
All right. It's finally moving forward at 20th Century Studios. Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow are in negotiations to reprise their roles in the film and serve as executive producers. Tim Federle from Better Nate Than Never, High School Musical, the musical series, will direct. Emily in Paris showrunner Robin Schiff, who wrote the original film, has returned to pen the sequel. Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow star in the original, which is about two unaccomplished women trying to impress their former classmates at their 10th anniversary high school reunion by making up fake careers. They're lied, they invented post-its, yada, yada. There's a cast. The new take targets a shooting date in June. Oh, they're actually going to put this out in the theaters? Wow. The original was released via the now dormant Touchstone Pictures, so the shift to 20th Century is fitting. I think this is a mistake to do as a theatrical movie. I think it's a mistake. I think we were just talking about Roadhouse and other things and other movies. I don't know if the audience that really responded to this movie is enough to justify doing a full-on feature film that comes out in the theater. I think that's risky. Again, I could change my tune if I hear what the budget is, but I think with marketing costs and everything else too, it would serve to do a streaming movie on Amazon Prime or on HBO Max or something like that. But I don't know, Steph, what do you think? Is this theatrical or should they do streaming on this one?
I think they should do streaming. I think that they should premiere this type of movie on like Galentine's Day and just make like a whole like streaming night out of it, because I understand what they're thinking. I think they're, in the same mindset as like a Barbie or a Wicked, in the sense like, oh, let's get the girls out, let's like really get the besties out there, the friends out there, the mom and daughter out there. But I don't think it's as wide of a net as the franchises of Wicked or Barbie. So I think it would probably reap better benefits from doing streaming. But I get kind of where they were going with, but it feels like it might be a mistake.
I think so. I mean, I think it's a great idea for a streaming movie, Mike, but I don't know. Theatrical seems risky. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same exact way because, like you'd said, the audience is our age or older for that, and but it would bring people back to the movie to discover it. But this to me seems ideal for a streaming film. I'm torn on Roadhouse because I love the original. It's one of my favorites. I enjoyed the second one, and originally I was like, oh, it's not going to the theater. But now having seen it, I'm like, yeah, this is probably where it should have been, streaming.
Right.
I felt the same way about the Michael B. Jordan Tom Clancy
the Clear and
movie,
Present Danger,
which I really liked.
Yeah, not Clear and Present Danger. Yeah.
Without remorse. But I was like,
right.
Yeah, this is a streamer. And I don't know why I feel that way about it. I don't know what it is, but it just, but this seems like a great idea for a streamer. It's a big, I mean, you want to use the term IP. It is an IP.
Yep.
and there would be a lot of kind of build for the nostalgia of it. So yeah, throw it up on. I don't think you're going to get the numbers in the theater.
Listen, the first movie cost $25 million to make back in 1997 or 1998, whenever it was, and it only made $25 million. It barely broke even. I mean,
Wow.
I think
I didn't see it when it came out.
I think it caught on later on with on but that's furthers our point that it's like that's back then I would have said, oh, it's going to be a tough movie to make. But now you have streaming. I don't know why you'd make this theatrical unless you're going to make it for like $10 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe you're out there and you think different. Maybe you say, hey, wait a minute. This movie actually could make money. I mean, look at you guys were just talking about the Shyamalan movies. You do it at the right budget. You put it out there. There's not a lot of movies like this that are out there, which is not a bad argument. They're not. And maybe it's time for a resurgence of those types of movies. So put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Okay. So now, guys, it has begun.
Okay.
Hit me, baby. Hit me.
Do it. Steph, Mike has nothing to do with this. This is all about you. So we'll see if you can do it once again, and Mike can ride your coattails. Going into the question section already, you guys have 27. It's a great start. Great start. As we start here with questions, you need to get to 110 to tie Roxy, 111 to take it into Friday. Ewok, thoughts on the Jack Champion as Cyclops report? Well, Ewok, I saved that story for tomorrow for Capes and Cowls, but now that you asked it, we have to talk about it. I saw this. This is a guy from Avatar, Jack Champion. You know, we didn't see a lot of his actual face in Avatar Part 2, but I liked what he did. Same thing. Look, this goes back to what Mike was saying before. He's not as well known of a person that you're like, oh man, Jack Champion's going to be Cyclops. All I'm going to see is Jack Champion. Jack Champion could eventually, in the same way that Corrin Sweat is going to become Superman, Jack Champion could become Cyclops. So what do you think, Mike? You see this guy got the look for it or what?
Well, it was earlier in the week they were saying Brendan Thwaites, and I was like, that is Cyclops. Perfect. So I don't know this guy. Was he the guy that played? Would he play Spider?
No, not Spider. He was one of the sons.
Okay.
If he was Spider, Steph would have yelled. Steph hates.
Oh my
Spider.
gosh. No shade against the actor. It's the character, you guys.
You hate Spider.
So I like Brendan Thwaites. Someone said that, and that's who I'm kind of gunning for now. Because
what do you think about this one, Steph?
I think this is I'm not as familiar with the character, but I feel like it's a more unknown actor. I mean, he's pretty up and coming. I didn't know he was in Scream. And a few and
right.
A few
so
other
we don't right. Nothing. So nothing of note.
Yeah, so I feel like that would be exciting for him.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So, well,
the Cyclops have Cyclops, X-Men.
What it does though, if this is indeed true, it starts to back up more not only the report of what Jeff and reported on with Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, it also just backs up that they're going with a younger cast. So I think if that's the case, it might put Cynthia Erivo way out of line to play Storm after all.
Yeah, because he's 20 and he looks young.
And Sadie Sink's like 22.
And if he's gonna play Cyclops, he's right around the age where I think like boys catch their second growth spurt. He's gonna have to get pretty bulked up for that role.
But Cyclops isn't always jacked though. He's not always.
I feel like he looks pretty jacked.
In which one?
Well,
in 97.
Really, James Marsden?
But it's like in the comics.
No, the comics. Sorry.
Okay.
In the comics, his nickname is Slim, so he was always kind of like
skinny,
the taller, thin guy.
You think
I think Brendan Thwaites, man.
No,
that guy
you guys, if you
are you thinking of Colossus?
Wait, hold on.
Who are you thinking of? You thinking of Colossus?
I'm talking about the guy with the blue and yellow suit.
Yeah,
in X-Men 97, he's drawn very muscular. Yeah,
okay.
But his nickname is Slim.
Yes, he's jacked in X-Men 97.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But I mean,
but I guess if you guys know better, if he doesn't need to be like, if that's
he
not
doesn't
part
need
of his
to be.
character, and then he's through it.
Yeah, he doesn't need to, because you got all the other guys that are so stocky. Ewok.
Okay.
George R.R. Martin said that he's seen the entirety of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms and he's given it very high praise. Okay, I mean, look, this is one of the. A lot of times you're like, what's he supposed to say? I mean, this is George R.R. Martin. He would probably say, "This stinks." This is promising, considering he was critical of many aspects of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. I happen to agree with that statement. He doesn't seem like the type of person that says it's great when it stinks. I've heard a lot of that.
He doesn't mince words.
He really doesn't. So yeah, I don't know.
He's like Alan Moore. Like they're both like I admire from afar, but man, would I be afraid to say anything in front of them.
For real. Especially he had this. I never forget when we went and we saw. Were you there, Mike? I mean, you were there. I just don't know if you were at the Hall H panel when George R. R. Martin hosted the Game of Thrones panel. Probably not because you're not a Game of Thrones guy. But
I wasn't there.
Ellis and I went and we talked about it on the show for. It had to be about a year afterwards because we just couldn't believe it. It was like everyone was so excited when they announced him as the moderator for the panel because it's George R. R. Martin.
Yeah.
But not everybody should be a moderator. and like he was just asking weird questions, and he'd be like, oh, so Amelia, what was it like when I wrote that sex scene for you? What do you think about it?
No, ew.
They'd just be like, so what about that? And Ellis and I would just be going, all the time. It was just like this. It was just every question was like sex scene. Anyway, so, but I am excited to hear that. That is indeed the endorsement from him because he is a tough critic of his own stuff, obviously. So that's I'm excited for that series. Armada, I was sad to hear that Gary Busey wasn't made an ambassador of Hollywood. If he did, he'd probably cast himself as a squirrel girl in the MCU. I believe that I could be both a squirrel girl, a pearl, a whirl girl, a lot of different things, backwards, forwards, upside down. I have one time seen a clock. Yes. And I turned it to the side. Sandwiches are wonderful. Do you know that me and Kinbergs Star Wars are the only two people who have ever both sung and danced ever? No, Gary, I think that it was actually sang and hosted Saturday Night Live. That is inaccurate. What do you mean it's inaccurate? But Stevie Wonder has also done it, and Tim Shyamalan has not put his stamp of approval on that in the hosting details. Oh, thank you so much, Gary. Did you? Yeah, people. Tim Chalamet said that him and Gary Busey were the only two to do it. Stevie Wonder did it also.
Right.
Yeah. Mike Joyce. I'm sure that Mike has a lot to say about the Snyder Bros complaints about Superman flying and people overreacting to Anthony Mackie's comments.
Serenity now. Serenity now. That's
Be
all
careful.
I have to say.
Be careful.
I can't.
Be careful.
Like, and I feel like I could say stuff because I am such a Snyder fan. I'm not this guy that bashed him for when he was making his movies. Like, I was in the trenches. I was going on every podcast I could in 2016 to defend BVS. I was on Collider defending, Justice League, and the time was over. It didn't work. And now to see these people with the hate that they hate. And there's one guy, he's a big Snyder bro hater. He posted something and he says, it was about something else. He's like, I just don't get why people can't say, I'm just not a fan of it. And every day I've been posting on his account that clip of him saying, hey man, why can't you take your own advice and just let it go? Superman's not for you. Why can't you just say it's just not for you? Hasn't responded yet. Yeah. I'm still waiting. And people ask me, why do you do that, Mike? It's like, because I got time sometimes. And I like to do it.
You sure do. You just like
I like to do it because you know why? Because people need to be called out on their bullshit in this world. That's why.
I agree.
Sometimes it's good to just keep your mouth.
Nah, call them out on their bullshit.
The discourse around Superman flying and that being
So
like
stupid.
the most wildly offensive thing.
So dumb.
And then people I saw would be like, this is what he looks like. And I'm like, not at all. You guys are being so dramatic. Do you know how dramatic it's crazy?
You haven't even seen the movie. It's like it's a shot from a small television screen that it's like. But you go ahead, Billy.
If this is 6 months from now, the movie's out, and you're like, stunk. I hate it. This part. Cool. That's your opinion. But this is like me writing a book. I finished the first chapter, and I go, hey man, can you read this? Just let me know if it interests you. Now, first line, he wrote a period instead of a comma. This writer sucks. I'm never buying a book of his again. Fuck this guy. That's what it's like. Fucking idiots. That's all I gotta say.
Perfect.
Fucking idiots.
All right, 12
in this show.
All right, let's see right now. So you guys are 28 as we're moving forward to the next question. What was that? That was Mike Joyce. Thank you, Mike. Mike Joyce is the man. We always appreciate Mike.
Yes.
Okay, next one, and this is from Jim One. Forbes claims that the Acolyte hurt Skeleton Crew. Agree? I think it had something to do with it. Sure. I mean, for sure. Anytime you put something out that the fan base is either split. I mean, in the same way that Last Jedi definitely hurt Solo. There's no doubt about that. Last Jedi also hurt. Even though there are a lot of people who love that movie, but there's a lot of people who hate that movie, and I think it divided the fan base. I don't think anybody, even people who like it, can't argue that it divided the fan base. And I think it hurt Rise of Skywalker. Plus the fact Rise of Skywalker wasn't a great movie, but it hurts. So yeah, I think it definitely hurt. Now, when it comes to the Acolyte, and that's the conversation that we have had all week on this show, it's like the people that were tweeting out and going, "Oh, see, I thought it did really bad." It said it was the number 2 show for Disney that month. It's like, it didn't say that they had great ratings. It said that it was the number 2 show. And then it's like, oh, hey, all of our movies this year did terrible, but this one did the second best. So it's like, when you look at the ratings on that show, were out of a $230 million show, it did like 2 point something billion, right? In comparison to, again, I've been using Tulsa King as the example, which is not $230 million, 9.2 billion minutes watched. So right there, that alone, that is not a show that should be renewed, especially if people didn't love it. So yes, I do think that Acolyte hurt Skeleton Crew. It's not the only reason. But what do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I think there's just if you're speaking objectively, anyone on the internet can see that there has been a decline in the faith that the Star Wars fans have.
Yep.
And it shows, and a lot of people quite literally said, I'm not going to watch anymore right now.
Yeah.
And so I think that, every time there's a project that doesn't do it for someone, there is a high probability that they're not going to watch the next series. So I think that has been happening. And then now it's like accumulated to Skeleton Crew. And then in addition to that, I feel like a lot of people just called it off from the beginning, thinking like, oh, this is a child's cast. And so there was multiple things going on. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that it had something to do with it. I'm sure
you are 100% correct, because you just kind of summarized me, right? Like, where I looked at it and I said, oh, I don't know why they're necessarily doing this show, but I watched the first 2 episodes. Like, oh, it was fun. I've had no desire to ever go back to it. Never watched it. Don't really care to. Don't know if I ever will. But it doesn't like, I'm gonna watch Andor. Like, that I'll watch, because that one has proven itself to me, and I want to see it. But Mike, go ahead.
We weren't doing Sith Council, but we were still covering the Acolyte on this show, right?
Yeah, we covered
Acolyte. I watched it, but I wasn't. I was tuning in because we had to talk about it.
We were covering it on this show, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but after that,
we didn't cover. We didn't. I told you that you didn't have to worry about Skeleton Crew, because I wasn't going to watch. I wasn't going to watch it either.
But it's like you said, you're only as good as your last project. Like,
right, exactly.
So coming off of that, and even then, and again, I'm hoping that the people that hate watch it and YouTube lives are dedicated to trashing it, they stayed away because it was children and they didn't want to drag them through that. But also, there was no real backlash against it. So,
I was so happy that the children were left alone. I was like, leave them alone.
That's me thinking that they're being better people. I know that's not true. I think they just didn't want to watch it.
I think a little bit.
They were good actors. They were good actors.
I do think I think there's a little bit. I think that everybody knows that kids are off.
Hopefully, you think.
Yeah,
maybe after the Jake, like all of the issues.
Yeah. I think so, and I think that I'm glad that happened. It just look, the show just flew under the radar, and it was one of these things where, and I have to say, for the people that I know that watch it, even though it's not a lot, for the people who I know who watch it, I have not heard one person say. I've heard a few people say they didn't like the ending, but I've not heard, collectively, the whole series that they dug it. The only way I probably wind up watching it is, again, if my daughter decides that she actually wants to watch it with me, then I probably will watch it. But I'm not. I just have too many other things that I care to watch more than that show. Ewok season 3 of Squid Game is going to release on June 27th. I know. So, Steph, I watched the first episode of Squid Game season 1.
Oh my gosh,
loved it. I gotta get to episode 2. I'm just trying to find the time to do it, but I'm looking to do it.
So great. And also, if I were you, I would wait to watch season 2 until season 3 is right around the corner, which I know we got an article from you that was saying it is probably pushed to, or no, I saw it on Horizon.
Okay.
After that those weren't on the 2025 slate of Netflix, even though they were. So I would just wait because it is like
I might do that. My goal was to watch
connected.
season 1 around when I was going to watch season 2, but I just didn't get around to it in time. So I'll probably watch season 1. The first one did okay for me. It did like 6,000 views. You know, it's like people are really into the stuff that Sam and I are doing right now with the MCU.
Yeah.
She's coming in to watch Black Panther today, which will be good. Yeah.
So good.
If we do that tomorrow, she'll be watching Infinity War.
Oh my god!
I have a box of tissues because she's gonna she's gonna lose it. Yeah. Mike Joyce, thoughts on revelation that Vader killed Watto? Is that true? I don't even know. Is that true? He had it coming.
Also, no one ruin Infinity War Endgame in the comments.
They haven't been. They haven't
Okay,
been. And well, I told her to stay away from the live show.
Yeah,
she doesn't
stay away.
I'm gonna have her on the live show eventually, but yeah, no. I try to keep. For the most part, the audience has been pretty great on the actual comments and the reactions because they want Sam to experience it also.
Right.
So, yeah. Armada. So Logan versus Jake Paul is happening on Max. Yeah, but I heard not like you think it is. I heard it's not an actual. There's something else. I don't think it's an actual real boxing match. It's some
promo.
Yeah, it's some. I mean, if you thought Tyson and Paul was staged, come on.
Right.
This guy's going to start dancing in the middle of it.
Yeah, they're just performers.
Mike, do you remember when at Thursday Night Fights when I boxed Chris Meadows? Do you remember that?
Oh shit.
So my buddy
really.
Chris Meadows used to call him Silent Bob. So he and I were like best friends in school, and we were like, people were like, "Oh, you guys gonna box? You're gonna box?" I'm like, and so he and I set it up to where in the first round, this is when you got to remember wrestling was huge back then. So in the first round, I'm doing the Muhammad Ali thing, and I'm tapping him with a jab and everything too. And they're like, "Oh, they're actually really fighting," because no one thought we were really gonna fight. Second round comes out, someone throws me a box, and I hit him in the head with a box, and I put him on top of my shoulders, and I made we turned it into a fake wrestling match because we weren't really going to fight each other, and it was hilarious, right? That's what's going to happen with Logan Paul and Jake Paul. It's going to turn into a wrestling match. Armada, new Weeknd album tomorrow. Let's go. You listening to it, Steph?
Yes, I will listen to it. He's I like his old stuff better. So I don't know. When he went more pop, it wasn't for me. It's not like it's bad. He's clearly has the numbers.
Yeah.
It just
didn't he
wasn't
do this?
for me.
He did the Super Bowl last year, didn't he?
Yeah, or 3 years ago, and it was
3 years ago.
I think so because it was Dr. Dre and Rihanna.
Who performed
for the past 2 years? Rihanna.
Weeknd was a few years ago. Did that giant glass house on the stage.
Yeah, you were right. It was Dr. Dre, Snoop, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, and then Rihanna.
Right, but when was the Weeknd?
The year before Dr. Dre.
No way.
Yes.
Really? 2021?
I think so.
You're right. Holy shit!
Isn't that
wow,
crazy.
That's crazy. I feel like
3
yesterday.
years. So yeah, he hasn't dropped an album in quite some time. So
wow. All right.
I don't think.
Armada. Unsolved Mysteries, Mike's internet and how to see, it's right. You say that Steph's internet.
There you go. That's it.
How to unstub a penis. Okay.
I need a new cord.
That's what she said. Armada, when Mike accidentally interrupted Roxy last week, that was funny as F and should be a clip. When Mike accidentally interrupted, when did that?
Which one? Which one
when
was
did you
it?
Interrupt Mike?
I do it all the time.
Not sure when you interrupted. Not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know which one he means. Is it the one you're talking about when his internet froze? That is a clip.
I don't think that was Roxy though. I think that was me and Steph, wasn't it?
Not sure. No, the internet was Roxy when your internet went out.
No. I don't know.
Wow. So this guy. whoever's the hot ticket. Artem Shakramanian, over 20% by 130.27. We have a Star Wars movie? Oh. Way over.
Yeah.
Mandalorian and Grogu will happen.
Yes.
So 2 years from today?
Yeah.
We get a Star Wars movie by now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah. 100%. Now, if it's outside of that, I still would go over because I think Mangold's going to get it done. I think
In 2
Mangold,
years? You're
Yeah,
actually
he's
damn
gonna-
fine. I'll say we'll get one Star Wars movie in 2 years.
well, he's saying by 130-27. That's
2 years
by
from today.
130-27. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Nah,
No,
I
maybe
think
not.
if-
But I
I
think
think
Mandalorian Grogu.
this would be the
Yeah.
summer of 27.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because originally they were supposed to get
I don't
the.
think I got a crackhead coming by the house here.
Oh, okay. I didn't
so-
know I didn't know that Finstock lived near you.
Oh, God.
All right, so let's see. I'll do a lot of things. Crack depends on your definition. Artem, if Mike's internet doesn't malfunction, today's show is not canon. Well, Steph's did twice. Does that count?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. 36 questions thus far. What do you think, Steph? 36 so far.
Let's go. We got to keep it going.
It's no longer the vitamin dealer. It is the vitamin dealer who says, "Hey, Kristian, have you seen the most recent Joe Rogan with the whistleblowers? It was pretty fascinating." I know that it's out there. It was Jason Sands. I know that for sure. I have not had a chance to listen to it yet. I've seen clips, but I will be checking it out for sure. What I did watch and what I encourage everybody to watch is the Skywatcher series out on YouTube. That, to me, is the most intriguing one that I've seen so far. So check out the Skywatcher. You can find it on Twitter. Cult Cinema 83. Clearly, he's going to be Nomad in the Multiverse's Doomsday. That's probably why they bring back Peggy as a counterpoint, probably as Captain Carter. That'd be interesting to see. You see them kind of going up against one another, because I don't think that Captain Carter really had an opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
That's really multiverse scene.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Killed her off. The multiverse thing is Doctor Strange, but didn't happen because it's a different version. And,
I know. It's just nothing really.
And a lot of it, and I bet like stuff that happened in What's If is going to show up and happen with this, but people didn't watch that. Like,
right.
I don't know, man.
I know.
That'll be so
End the multiverse. End this thing.
Yeah. Thank you to Paige for putting in a super sticker. Jim 1. Mike, there's new rumors that's Bond 26 could shift back to a more Brosnan tone of quips and camp. Also, they want to capitalize on meme culture to attract Gen Z. Please don't do that. The first part I'm okay with. Second part, P-Usa.
Oh my gosh, that would be so lame.
So lame. Please don't
Tough,
do that.
because if you do, then you're borderline into Austin Powers territory.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget. I was rewatching some Bond films when I was writing the book, and Shannon had never watched them, and she watched them with me, and she's just like, "Oh, so this is where Austin Powers came from."
Right.
Never understood that was seriously how the films were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Bond's in a tough spot right now.
Yeah. This Mike, you're gonna love this comment. You ready?
Here we go.
Mike Joyce. I want to send more questions, but I don't want Mike to win.
Oh my god.
Fuck you, Mike Joyce.
Mike,
That's my buddy, man.
Real nice.
It's
Am I
Mike on
becoming
my
the new Rogan
crime.
where people don't want me to win?
But don't you want Steph to win?
Look how pretty she is.
Yeah.
And the cat. She's got a cat. It's the
I
second
know, he's
cat.
being so obsessive.
All right, Mike Joyce. Steph, do you think Roxy would like Big Cojones? I don't think she knows who Big Cojones is yet. Roxy knows more. Big Cojones is Roka's version of Big Balls. He's got the voice module too.
He's got Big Cojones?
Yeah, they sound it off as Big Cojones and Big Balls together.
Damn.
What's his voice sound like?
Not too unsimilar to that, but just not as
He's gonna
funny.
have a bit of a Latin.
Can I get
twang to it.
like a pop and coochie
Pop and
twirl?
coochie?
Like a big
You don't.
coochie
Do
energy?
you have a roadcaster?
I have a roadcaster. I don't know how to do the voice mod.
What's the newest one that you have? What version of this is it?
Class A servo biased,
How
Apex.
long ago did you get it?
like 3 years.
I don't know if this one's the newest one. But push the, let's see, hit the top. You see a little square, the top right
Yes.
button. Hit that for a second. Now talk.
Hi.
No,
How's it? No?
no, nothing's working.
No way.
No, you got again.
Hello?
No, just give it a rest.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, next question. We're at 38 thus far, and we get to Jim 1. Bet it's Amazon's note that Bond needs to be memeable. Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe.
But at least the good thing with that is the Bond people are like, nah, we're not doing what you're doing, Amazon. We don't
Right.
like that.
Maybe that's what
Stupid
the
ideas.
battle is behind it. Such a stupid idea. Cult Cinema 83, that's why they're probably leading with Mandalorian and Grogu, because it's a safety choice to fend off toxic fans. Everyone loves Mando and Baby Yoda. It will ease people back into Star Wars in cinemas. So I agree with most of that. Most of it, I'd say 90% of it. I say the reason, the 10% is that, as Mike said before, you've got to rely on people who have seen the show, because this is season. The difference between Moana, the movie, basically it's the same exact thing where Bob Iger was like, wait a minute, you're making that a TV show? No. Turn that into a movie. The difference is that you only had to see Moana 1, the movie itself, in order to understand Moana 2. You got to watch 3 seasons of The Mandalorian in order to know what the hell's going on in this one. They're going to tell you that you don't, but in order to have an actual connection to these characters, you should. But it's season 4 of the show. And that's what's going to get people into the show. The hardcore fans are going to go, I want to see season 4, and it's a shorter version of it. But that's all it is. They just literally said to Favreau, "Hey, he's like, I finished season 4." They're like, "Well, can you turn it into a movie?" "Yeah, I can do that. You want to direct it?" "Sure, why not? I'll direct it." And that's what happened. You guys have any other thoughts on that one?
No, you're succinct. You're succinct.
Anyway, Artem. Randall Park is Moriarty in the new Watson show, but I can't see him as a villain. Just like Jack Black in Star Wars was waiting for a joke every time I saw him. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like
that's a rough. Like Randall Park, I could see is like Holmes, or not Holmes, Watson.
Right,
Watson in that show.
I don't know. I don't know the show well enough.
He would be a Watson character, not a Moriarty.
Yeah, I don't know. Him is, I mean, look, but you got to give actors also a chance to get out of that.
Sure, you do.
Typecast, right? So, maybe he can do it. Maybe he can't, but maybe you can try and see. Look, he's got more range. Because I agree with you. I'm always expecting him to crack jokes, because I turned. He won me over, because in Ant-Man, I was like, there he is, just cracking jokes again. And Ant-Man 2, same thing. I got to go see Ant-Man 2. I'm going to watch Ant-Man 2 again. And I remember liking that one less than the first one. But then when he's actually really good in WandaVision. You didn't like him? You didn't like him in WandaVision?
Here's the thing. Like the actors, I love what you said about the actors. Like for me, it's like Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Watching him in The Office, right. But then he does The Last of Us.
So good in that.
And you're like, Jesus, you forget how good he is. I'm sure Randall Park is a phenomenal actor. He's just been typecast, and rightfully so. He just keeps going after those roles because he's working.
Right. And he's funny.
And he's talented. But then to get him out of that, you've got to have that one role that, like Nick Offerman, man, in that Last of Us he was
episodes? Great. Yeah, he either got nominated or won. I can't remember.
So it's like they're actors, and that's their job, is to switch off, but also,
Nathan Drake's in the house. Can we get a rewatch of The Happening? I don't know. I don't know if I have the strength for that. I think that maybe as we get closer to Shyamalan movies, Hot Dogs. Do you want Hot Dogs? Such a funny movie. Such a movie. He follows it up. Hartnett Save Trap. He was great. There's some stupid things that happened with him and other people around him that I'm just like, it was so stupid. It was so dopey. Go Pal. I keep forgetting that Cavill was Henry's best friend in The Tudors. Oh, I didn't see The Tudors. That was an underrated show. It also introduced Marjorie Tyrell as Anne Boleyn. Yeah, I hear great things. Did you watch that show, The Tudors?
I watched some of it, so I kind of like vaguely remember what you're talking about, which is funny.
Okay. Roman, Steph, you are the definition of class and kindness. Never change.
Thank you.
Also, next time Mike rages out, Kristian needs to bring Palps out to egg him on. That's fair. Palpatine, yeah. Go Pal. Whatever happened to Mira Sorvino? Great call. I don't know. I don't think I've seen her since that movie with Chow Yun-Fat. She was good in her small role in Beautiful Girls. Yeah, I don't know if she stopped acting, or I assume she would come back for the Romy and Michelle, but
no, I looked up the same thing because I was curious.
Where the hell is she?
Yeah, we see Lisa all the time.
Right.
So she's doing stuff. There's just so much on TV.
Right.
You just so much. Miss it. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, there's so much. You could absolutely just get buried by all the stuff that's on TV.
Yeah.
Jake S., if a new X-Men takes place modern times, should they update Magneto's backstory? Something like a survivor of the Rwandan genocide, or something like the Denzel route. Otherwise, Magneto will be in his 90s. It's great. That's a great call. It's a great question. Great question. Yeah, you might have to, right?
You got to rework Magneto. You have to.
Yeah, you probably. It's a fantastic question, Jake. I mean, if it is modern, it just wouldn't line up. I mean, it lined up obviously with Ian McKellen from the age that they made him. It lined up with Fassbender because of the time that they put it in.
I mean, it was always like they always said at the time when they were created that they were the Malcolm X and MLK of
Right.
the 60s.
Right.
Maybe we're at a point now where you're using that as the main backdrop. That's who they are.
I wonder. I don't know.
During those times, because if they were alive in the 60s, that would absolutely allow them to be older. It's tough. You can't have them in their 30s or 40s. You can't.
Will they do a period? I mean, there's so many questions that are going to be answered after the multiverse thing kind of wraps up, because especially now, I mean, because I don't know if you guys heard the rumors that the Russos are going to be overseeing the X-Men movies. And so if that's the case, and that means they're definitely going to be setting up the new X-Men in the last Avengers movie. You would assume, one would assume. I don't know, that deal where they can't use different actors in the roles has to be expiring soon. If not this year, it's got to be expiring soon. Maybe. So I wonder. Gopal, I get that Acolyte was super expensive and it requires more viewership, but straight minutes watched isn't necessarily a good metric across shows. I don't disagree with that. I don't think anybody really knows how it really works.
I mean, look at us. We added to those minutes watching it, but we didn't like it.
Right. It's true. I think, and a lot of people kind of watched it that is the difference, right? Where even Mike, we were talking about, and none of us really liked the Acolyte. Steph, you I know you liked it the most out of the three of us, but you didn't like it.
Right? I didn't love it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I liked it.
Yeah, okay, you didn't mind it. So, but either way, the three of us weren't excited, I should say, to watch it, right? But yet we still watched it, all three of us. And I think the thing is, and the difference is, a lot of people watched us talking about it. We had good ratings for us when we were talking about the show, and a lot of people did. That is not the case with Skeleton Crew, which people enjoyed. And the people who did it, nobody was watching. I mean, the reviews. You look at some of the people that were covering that show who normally get tons of views on these things. Nobody cared. It's a sad day. Tristan Cummins finishing up Severance season 1 tonight. I'm loving it.
Oh, you're so lucky that you don't have to wait.
Yeah, it's a good one. So you'll go right into season 2 and you'll be thrilled. Gopal, like Tulsa King had more and longer episodes, but not so much more as to make the two even. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, it's not, well, they weren't even as far as minutes watched. So, I mean, it got absolutely destroyed as opposed to that. Luke TG2. Hey, from the UK, Mike, I saw your live Purge show on YouTube. You're a natural. Very impressive. But what is it? Is that on YouTube, Mike?
Someone must have uploaded it.
Oh my God. Hey, somebody send that to me.
Yeah,
well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to see that. Steph, you're a legend. Kristian, you're the GOAT. I love the show. Luke, nice comment. Love that. So many nice people in here.
Yeah.
Those nice people have given you 46 questions with a half an hour to go. You got about
Steph, what happened? What's going on, Steph? Let's go.
We got it. You guys.
You gotta remember, right before we signed off last time, Steph didn't even have 30 questions.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so
let's go.
All right.
It's coming.
Go, pal. Dan Merle, I assume, divides minutes watched by total runtime in his chart show, which feels like a better measure. Dan should be running a lot of things.
Right. He's very scientific.
Yeah, Dan should easily be an executive at one of these places. He's got to and like a creative executive. Nah, I don't blame him. Stephanie Litz, Cat Williams on Theo Vaughn's podcast said he's building a Tyler Perry style film campus focusing on comedy. I love it. We need more quality comedies. Yeah, the question is, Stephanie, like, again, where do they land, right? Because I think that a lot of people, especially Cat's generation, he's going to go in, he's going to want, you would assume, theatrical releases and things, because that's what we remember as the metric, or the things that you want to aim for. And that's just not the case anymore. So you got to make himself a deal.
Yeah, maybe not, because he's doing all of his comedy shows on Netflix. I could definitely see him striking a deal with Netflix through his production company and kind of airing it from there. But if you guys are on TikTok at all, I see Theo Vaughn talk about Cat Williams nonstop. He just is like, you know, as a comedian would be, like, you're obsessed with this as he, in his words, mythical creature that
Yeah,
is Cat Williams.
Do you see that comment that he said to him?
Yeah.
It's the
And
best.
so when they finally, it's like you never see Theo Von shut up, and
Yeah.
he like could not get his words out.
It was hilarious. Ed at the movies. Mike, what do you think? Mike says, I don't know. Listen, buddy boy. You know, I just maybe it's weird because all love, Mike. You always make me laugh. There you go.
It's all right. Let me tell you this, buddy boy. Listen up, buddy boy.
That's it. James Kling. Kristian, did you guys do Thor Ragnarok? Yeah. So if Sam comes in tonight, which she is planning to do for Black Panther, then we will release Thor Ragnarok on Saturday because we've shot that. Spider-Man comes out on Friday. Thor will come out on Saturday. Black Panther will come out on Tuesday. If for some reason we can't get it done today or tomorrow, then we'll only do 2 this week. But I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to get Thor Ragnarok out on Saturday. All right. Next one is from James. It's before Black Panther. If you did, my bad. Yep. Yeah, it is. We already recorded it. We're just putting it out on most likely on Saturday. But it's really good. The reactions, you're going to like it. Jack Lewis, any reaction about DC using the Puppy Bowl to market Superman rather than an actual spot at the Super Bowl? Missed opportunity? Nah, not missed
I can
opportunity.
answer that.
Go ahead, Mike.
It's before the Super Bowl, the Puppy Bowl.
Ah.
So it gets it out right before all the other. Because in the Super Bowl, it's going to
Probably
get
costs
lost.
less money and probably costs less money.
Yeah, you're going to have
Yeah.
you got Mission Impossible dropping, you got Thunderbolts. You're going to be caught up wait for the break. Well, this is like boom, it's out, it's done, it's covers the internet first because the internet's going to be the fandom's going to be going about it. So you get the coverage first. It's not lost in the middle of it. It's great, and it costs less.
I think it's brilliant.
And you got a crypto thing probably in there.
Yeah, that's exactly why they're doing it. It is the crypto side of it. But the thing is, this isn't a movie. Like if it was a movie that no one knew about, and it's like you're putting in the Puppy Bowl, this movie, like you're not gonna. It's Superman. Yeah. Superman to get it right before because people are going to be talking about it. It's going to carry over into the Super Bowl stuff because people are like, oh yeah, they also put that out there. It'll hit on the internet. Yeah, Superman. I think, and it costs less. I actually think it was a brilliant move. Speaking of Superman, Levi, he says Superman budget only 180. Have you heard anything about this? Did you hear this? Yeah,
I did. But the person that linked it said it was either the Wrap, Hollywood Reporter, one of the trades, but then they couldn't find the story.
Okay.
It was like so-and-so $80 million budget per at the Wrap or at Hollywood Reporter. But they had THR, I think they said, but they were waiting for like the actual word. But that to me, because then it wasn't like last week someone said 360. I'm like, there's no way.
No way.
180 sounds absolutely right.
That sounds more realistic, but that's when I say, and people keep going back and forth on this, where I cannot believe the reports that Captain America was 180.
Absolutely not.
And then, the counter to that people were saying in the comments was like, well, it's never really been confirmed that they've had that many extensive reshoots. It's just been a rumor. I don't know.
Because you've got those wrestlers that were cast like, yeah, my whole thing was filmed.
Oh yeah.
We got caught.
The serpent.
Back,
right.
And
yeah,
then
the Serpent Society.
Esposito was added 3 months ago.
Right.
Like, yeah, I got the massive character.
I agree with you.
Badass.
I agree with you. That movie, if we're being nice, that movie cost $275. If we're being nice.
Now, to the counterpoint to them to do creative marketing, the film that's going to be in theaters might have cost $180 million, but that doesn't count.
Right.
The endless amount
everything else, the free shoots. Correct.
3 versions of this film.
Correct. Jacob Tizano. I know you don't watch trailers before an MCU movie, but the end game to the end TV spot should be the exception. I think I want her to see absolutely nothing. I want her to know nothing about it. We've both agreed. Like she's so locked into this stuff, like to where if a Marvel commercial pops up on her television now, she turns it off. She won't watch anything. She like anything that she doesn't want to know anything about anything. Yeah. Philly G. Earlier, a person was referring to when Mike accidentally interrupted Roxy when he loudly called it his dog and then proceeded to take over the conversation. Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that now. That was pretty great. All right. Hey, Steph, what are 3 entertainment opinions that you disagree with Kristian? Mike, what are 3 that you agree with? That's a great question.
Oh, Jesus.
That's tough. Okay, First one, I disagree that, and he knows this, that Ariana stole the show of Wicked.
Okay.
Second, do you have one? Can we go back and forth, Mike?
One that he's got one that he agrees
That
with.
you agree with. Okay.
Yeah, we both agree that Dune 2 stinks.
Oh, see,
No, that's I agree with you. I don't think I agree with you ever.
that's not true. You just agreed with me 5 times on this show today, you idiot.
Probably the Captain America budget.
Right. So there you go.
Superman's box office, what we think it's going to do.
Right.
And the fact of not having Pattinson as the Batman in the Superman or in the new DC.
There you go.
There you go.
He did 3.
Okay, I have a second one.
Bam, bam, bam. That's what I do.
Madam Web wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Oof.
And honestly, if you guys are ready for the kicker, I don't think Craven was that bad.
I didn't see Craven.
I didn't think it was that bad either.
I didn't see
liked
Craven.
it.
I
didn't
thought
see
you
it.
did.
I liked it.
It's obviously there's parts that are very silly.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Overall, it was like it didn't offend me.
Like Steph, I'm with you. Like I thought that there is a good movie in there.
Yeah.
But just something you could tell
Something
the Sony
stinks.
people came in and tried to pull.
Yeah.
But there is a good movie in there.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll find another one, Stuff.
Yeah.
Support for the Top Gun guy. Thank you, Stuart.
Nice.
Dancing Dog 60. Servino was recently in The Sound of BS or W. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know.
What wasn't it that Harvey Weinstein happened? Well, yeah, he absolutely. I mean, I know that but she was one of the big parts of that story for sure.
Yeah.
But apparently she has been working since then, obviously. Too.
Yeah.
Clyde Titus wasn't Cap Nomad already in Infinity War? He had the suit.
Well, I mean, they kind of hinted it like his time away from Cap when he was off on his own with the Accords happening.
Yeah.
He was doing still Cap work, but he wasn't wearing the symbol of Cap. And they had teased they were going to make his outfit more nomadish from the comics, but then they said, you know what? He probably just kept the suit, took the star off. So they didn't really do that. But I know what you're feeling, Clay. Yeah.
Okay. The Vitamin Dealer. First time I have seen a credible firsthand experience or go into detail in an actual conversation with NHI. It was so intriguing. So you talking about the Rogan thing, or are you talking about the thing that I told you? Because if you really want to see something, go and check out that Skywatcher thing. To me, it was the most credible thing I've seen so far. So I don't know if you're talking about that one or talking about the Rogan interview, but go and check out that Skywatcher thing. It's like 28 minutes. It's incredible. Shelf presence. Magneto can just be about mutant genocide oppression. That's true. It could absolutely. Right. Yeah, it could be. Right, Tyler. One thing to say. Pucka yet? Does anybody know that?
I don't know. I'm always so afraid to like say a slur in a different language.
I don't know what it means. Dancing Dog 60. If you're old enough, what were your favorite arcade games? Like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Outrun, Asteroids, Original Mario.
Come on, dude. I'm an arcade kid.
Yeah, mine
Mortal
was
Kombat, baby, all the way.
I love the old WWF.
School.
I love the old WWF game. I don't know if it was.
Of course you did. I could see you beat it.
It was Rumble
in the arcade.
I loved it. It was great.
Cut in front of kids that were waiting in line.
I didn't cut in front of kids. I just beat that ass. Don H.
Wedgies.
That's right. No. In the game, I beat him on the
that ass.
Don H. What movie is so bad that it's good? I mean, well, Mike and I both agree that Flash Gordon is so bad.
I don't agree that it's bad though.
It's the way that, dude. It's bad. I mean, it's like
awesome.
It's awesome. There's two different things.
Like
it's not
an Avenger or something like that.
I'm thinking of bad.
Love Flash Gordon.
I do too. I do too. But it's not.
It's so earnest. Here's the thing. For me, when it's bad to be good, to me, the actors have to be like making fun of it as they're doing it. Like those actors in Flash Gordon, like Brian Blessed, they are thinking they're doing Shakespeare in the Park. They're so invested in it. Watching Timothy Dalton say those lines, like the Max von Sydow, like I can't. It's so good. It's good.
Well, we still say that The Room is probably the best.
That's good. There you go. The Room.
I still say The Room. The Room is brilliant. It's so great. Do you have one, Steph?
Hi, Mark.
Yeah, The Room is the first one that comes to mind. That movie is so iconic. Hilarious. And then a movie I love, but I think that the people don't. I'm not sure. Beverly Hills Ninja is.
Is that the one with Chris Farley?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
so bad. It's so
Yeah.
stupid, but
Yeah.
I love it.
There's a lot of stupid movies out there that I can't.
Master of Disguise, Dana Carvey.
That's a good one. It's a
Yeah,
turtle. The
yeah.
turtle.
Turtle,
That's
turtle,
the first thing you think is a turtle. Big Bang OT4. We need a Star Wars movie with many Jedi and Sith ASAP. You would hope that that's what they would try to do with this stupid.
Unless you're
What?
Mike.
That's all we
Mike,
had was
no.
Star Wars movie with Jedi and Sith.
Like Steph, the old Republic stuff was, like the thing that would worked really well was that that commercial that they did when they had all the Sith and all the Jedi battling. You've never seen that yet. That's the era that I want to see, and I think we're going to get that in Mangold stuff as they start to form. Mike Joyce, after the latest Trump administration nonsense from today's press conference, I feel like thanks to you is about to become the new thanks Obama. I don't know, maybe this Mike Runk show. RQMDSMD support for Steph and Mike's dogs. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
They're being good today. They're chill. They're just laying there.
Yeah, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Dave Mack, good day, all. Thoughts on Nicholas Hoult as the next Bond? I think we're getting to a place where Nicholas Hoult is getting too much now because
he's playing
his Lex
everything.
is going to kind of take over his persona.
I think so too.
It's going to be that's who people know him as.
He's going to steal the movie.
Oh, I'm 100%. I
Oh,
don't
you
disagree.
think so?
Yeah,
and I don't say that in a bad way.
No,
it's not a slight against Cornswetter or
not at all.
Brosnan.
Not at all.
I just think his character, the way it's going to be written, is going to be something we haven't seen.
Agreed.
But
So,
that's important for a great film. Like comic book
Of
movies are the
course it
ultimate. Like, you're just not as good as
That
your villain has to be as good as your.
Yeah.
he's going to be
superhero.
an underlying villain in the entire DC.
Right.
universe.
Right. Yeah, he's going to
They
be.
will
That's why he's not
do
going
the President-elect storyline eventually.
Yeah, he's not going to have. He's not going to have time to do James Bond. Dancing Dog 60, underrated film. Priest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to watch that for the IG. Really good.
I saw it with Ellis when we were. That was one. It was still we were early schmoes days. I remember thinking it was okay. Paul Bettany, Carl Urban, Maggie Q, Lily Collins, Madge Amshad. I loved her when I was. She had a big crush on her. Great action, great world building. Yeah, and it
I love
bombed.
her.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, it did not do very well. I remember that.
Huh, I haven't even heard of this.
We don't get movies like that anymore that aren't IP based.
They wouldn't take a shot at that anymore. No. Dancing Dog 60, The Sound of Freedom. Okay. Johnny Bravo. Should Sam get the super soldier serum in Cap 4? I would like to see it, but they're never going to do it because
they're never going to do it. And
it's kind of the point, right?
It's the point, and I just feel like I don't want to talk too much about. I just feel like it's I know what they're trying to do, but it almost is reinforcing the entire thing they're trying to not do, which is that like he has to work for it because of, being the first Black Captain America, dealing with, or not the first Black Captain America, dealing with the repercussions of the first Black Captain America and how he was villainized and then now him. But I'm like, but you're already were like further back. Can't you get the head start for once? Like, let's go.
Yeah. I'm that movie's right around the corner, so we'll see how it's going to play. We'll be talking about that in depth. Sheris Sravastis, Bad Internet versus Mike might be one of my favorite vids. I really encourage people that I made that a clip. Go and check it out, please, because not enough people have watched it. It's
the amount of laughter I brought the two of you in this channel is unabashed.
But she wasn't even on the show. She wasn't even on that episode. Big Bang OT4. Dune 2 deserved 13 noms. Justice for Denis. Fact.
Yeah, I'm just curious how you guys think it's a masterpiece and even get nominated. What happened? Maybe the rest of the world thinks like I do in that it was good, but
like you were there in March. Don't pretend you weren't there in March when you heard everybody saying this is the most beautiful film.
That's right, Steph. Give it to him.
And that
yes,
this
people didn't think so.
Just absolutely knocked it out of the park. People loved it. What do you don't forget what happened in March.
Yeah.
You know what I forgot about, because you know what took me over and erased Doom from my mind?
Amelia
Perez. Amelia Perez won me over.
You love that
won
movie.
me over with how amazing it is. And it's so deserving of 15 nominations, the most of all time.
So
I can't tell you how much I love that movie. I'm going to go watch it again.
God. No, I will say.
I'm going to go watch it again.
We've
the way that you did that at the end, I'm gonna go watch it again.
I'm gonna go watch it again.
That was great.
Oh my god. I do think that Amelia Perez, we talked about this with The Brutalist. If the AI issues were going to affect them in the Oscars. And now I feel like both The Brutalist and Emilia Perez are dealing with these like post Golden Globe issues that are being brought to light. And I do think it's going to affect the way that they play out. A few weeks ago, you asked me that, and I didn't necessarily, but I actually kind of do. I don't think they're going to sweep like they did the Golden Globes.
All right, we're gonna see. Steph, real quick, what did Colin Farrell win his Golden Globe for this year?
Penguin.
Yes. Okay. Next question. Dancing Dog 60. Has Steph won yet? No. 71 right now.
We need
is
40.
just about just about 40. Just about 40 to win right now with about 15 minutes left. Armada. It was when Mike said, "Hey," when Roxy was talking. Yeah, that was hilarious. Scott Cross.
I was talking to the dog. That's right.
Yes,
I was talking to her.
Yeah. Been in a big World War II movie show watched since November, steering towards historically accurate. What's your guys' favorite set in that era? I mean, for me, it's Saving Private Ryan.
There's no
I know.
Okay. I haven't seen it in probably about 10 years, but I do like Pearl Harbor. I know it's not accurate, but I do like it.
You're a lunatic.
I do too.
I like it.
Oof.
So what's our fave World War II movie?
Yeah.
Maybe Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, but but you're talking about historically. He's
historically accurate.
Close to. I mean, maybe he's just saying set in that era. So not necessarily. I don't know if that
maybe The Pianist.
Well, he's steering towards historically accurate. No, it was really good.
Yeah.
Overlord.
It was really good.
I enjoyed the hell out of it.
It's a really good movie. They're doing a sequel, I think.
Are they?
I thought so.
That was my first introduction to Wyatt Russell.
Oh, it's a really solid movie. Underrated movie. Solid movie. John Roca, The Outlaw.
Yeah, buddy.
Look, folks, if my butt could talk, I'd have a speech impediment. If your butts could talk, we'd be discussing dinner plans. Let's eat. Roca out.
Oh my god.
I feel like you got that from Google, but it was good. It was good. Come on, look it up. No, I don't want to look that up.
Pucky it.
Armada. Saw the trailer of that movie Finstock is in. Did you really? Yeah, he's in a movie. Is he in the trailer?
Is this a bit?
No. He plays a porn star in a movie.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
That is the most perfect role
ever. Someone needs to
so
send me
underutilized.
Yeah, I know. Somebody needs to send me that. Mike Joyce. I wasn't the biggest Complete Unknown fan. Any Bob Dylan movie suggestions for people who aren't already big Bob Dylan fans? I don't know.
Look in the comments.
The other one was there's a movie that Cate Blanchett actually played Dylan, which you're like, what? And so did Heath Ledger in the same movie. I forget the name of it, but I would take a look at that one. It was pretty good. I remember it being pretty good.
Okay.
Let me just do this because I see it in the chat, and I'll tell you. Here, where is it? Oh, I was there. Oh, I missed it. Never mind. Just kidding. What do you got?
I'm looking it up. Hold on a second. I had to find it.
All right, don't brag. That's the next one after that. Thank you again. This one's from GoPal. I just got around to watching Twin Peaks last year. Another Mad Shit chick. Man, love that Mad Shit chick.
Doesn't pull up anything.
Don't worry about it. Sherilyn Fenn, Lara Flynn Boyle, Joan Chen. That show was awesome. I don't remember. I was never a big Twin Peaks guy, but like I said, Mad Shit chick, when I first saw it was Sleepwalkers was the one. I was like, who's that? As a kid. She was very, very pretty. Big Bang OT4. Brendan Scanar for DCU Batman, if not Pattinson. That's my pick. He's my number one.
Gold.
He's my number one.
Yep.
Alex, I'm with Steph. The first issue of the X-Men reboot from the 90s is framed on my wall, and Cyclops is ripped. I'm not loving the rumored casting so far. I always say you gotta wait, and this is what I told Winston. We had our famous conversation back on Collider Live. He was so adamant against Robert Pattinson. And I said, and Roxy, because Roxy and I called Robert Pattinson before he was even cast. And he's like, he's a Twilight kid. I go, have you ever seen Rover? He said, no. I said, you ever see Good Times? He said, no. I said, that's what I'm telling you. Go and check that out. Because the guy can act. And I don't know. We got to see more from this guy before we rule him out. Stuart Blackie, do you guys still work with John Campy? It's fun hearing some of the different opinions and the way you think about the industry. Work with John, no, but I talked to John. John was looking for some people for some project he was working on recently, and he and I spoke. He called to check in on the family and stuff and how things are going in New York. Still talk to him I don't know about often, but we time to time for sure. But no, I know he's doing a lot of stuff with it. That was the beauty of when he and I would always be on shows. That we wouldn't line up on opinions altogether because I saw a bunch of people who were saying that they've already seen it. We've been on opposing sides. Yeah, it's okay to be on opposing sides of opinions. It's a matter of how you speak to people like individuals, and that's how he and I were always that way. So, Dawn H, love and support for the crew. Thank you, Dawn.
Thanks.
Haskell, there he is. Hey, gang, I retweeted all your new trailer for the horror thriller called Locked with Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins. Damn, I'm so in. I think you'll love it. I mean, Steph and I are not traditional horror peeps. Wait a minute. What is happening? I don't know. I'm getting really weird texts from people in my family. I'm like, wait a minute. Is my 8-year-old, my 7-year-old sending texts?
Something okay?
Like,
Everything all right?
No, it's just silly text from my dad, which doesn't make any sense what's going on. Anyway, so this movie Locked, I'll take a look at it, but yeah, horror is not the first one that I respond to. You know that, Ed.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo magazine Dreams trailer. Jonathan Majors comeback. I believe he will have a comeback. I believe he will. I mean, that is what it happens to many people over there. Some people who can't come back from certain things. I believe he'll make a comeback. It'll take a while before he starts to get into a lot of the mainstream stuff, like the big blockbuster movies. But he'll get there eventually. I think so. Do you guys agree?
Yes, I feel like the majority of people don't even know what happened.
Oh, I disagree. I not disagree on the comeback. I disagree that people don't know what happened. I think they know.
No, like the majority of people who in this country, you think know what happened?
I don't think a lot. I don't think it's as big as you. I mean, I think that it was.
Let me tell you this: if it wasn't as big as you guys think it is, Mr. Kang would be coming around eventually.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's
not anything. I still think it was more national than like Ezra Miller was. I'll tell you that.
The trailer, and if this trailer had come out pre all this,
yeah,
Academy Award nomination.
Wow.
But to see how angry he is in it and the character he plays and the violent character coming off of a violent crime.
Right.
It's not the win to get him back. You need him in some role like Otto that Tom Hanks played, where he was just some curmudgeonly neighbor that
look, very different situations, but look at the Will Smith situation, right? Will Smith was the Oscar thing, which to this, you're never going to see a crazier thing happen at the Oscars.
At the Oscars, ever.
You're never going to see anything like that ever. Everyone thought it was a bit. And people were like, no, get him out of here. And then his first movie back was I think a movie where he played a slave, and it didn't do well because people did not want to support the movie at all. Right.
Yeah.
Time passed, and then Bad Boys, the next Bad Boys, did pretty damn well, and people.
It was funny.
But also, Will Smith had 25 years of a career.
I know it's a very different situation. I'm just saying that there are circumstances in general, and I do think that there is a circumstance where after time, depending on we'll see.
I think so. I just think that people forget about most things, like you're saying, Kristian. Right. And he that was a confusing trial. Like if you really look at all the footage, all the evidence, there was a lot going on, and I think that they were like awful together and made awful.
Just didn't work, but you got to move on.
It was like the whole him stopping the fight between the kids in the street. It just screamed of Hollywood spin.
Yeah.
If he would have just taken the court, gone, done with it. Like, I hope Armie Hammer comes back. Like his whole thing with
no.
Let's get into this on the next show. We don't have time.
Yeah, exactly. Leave, Steph.
Steph
you need to leave.
Dancing Dog 60. The Great Escape is amazing. What a cast. Is this the is the Great Escape? Is that the old school movie? Yeah, of course.
I think
Go Pal. School. Pearl Harbor had Beckinsale and Jen Garner. That's right. Jen Garner, wasn't it?
They were looking.
There's no world.
We're back. We're back, Mike.
Mike, there's no world where you're going to have me disagree with you on that. Dancing Dog 60 although I will say this, Jennifer Garner is better looking, even better looking today than she was 20 years ago.
Want to know why? She's unproblematic.
Yeah, she vibes.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah. Dancing Dog 60. Could a fun 66 Batman type show exist today? No, not the way the audience is. Yeah, no. Yeah. Luke S says the Bob Dylan film. I'm not there. Yeah, that's what it was. I'm not there. Okay, guys, almost at the end here. This is the last one for now. Steph, you're back. Steph is here. She's been here before. This is the last question for now. If people fire in some more, it could keep her going. It's 80 right now.
Oh, jeez.
And this could be the last one. 80. So she's come back from far more of a deficit than this. But Roman Fedoruk said, Mike, you scared Steph away, but she's back now. But as of right now, like we did last week, we got to sign off. But we'll see if anybody keeps you alive. Steph, give yourselves an outro. Where can the people find you?
At Steph Sabra and the World Girls.
Michael Kalinowski yelling at people on Twitter.
At Mike Kalinowski for all your entertainment needs.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
Thank you guys for being here today. As I always say, we have a lot going on in the channel. Oh, there you go. Dancing Dogs 60. Will Steph do it?
you need to send in like 40 more immediately.
I know. Alex, just to clarify, I've seen Jack Champion and Brandon Thwaites in a few things. Scream, Titans, Pirates. I haven't been impressed acting-wise. Anybody can bulk up. I just want them to nail Scott. Now, that is a very fair comment.
Yeah,
like, if you have, that's a very fair comment. It's like, look, I do know the guy. I've seen him. I just don't personally think he fits it. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. That's not who I'm thinking of.
That's reasonable discourse.
That is a brilliant response and a way to have a conversation with people without agreeing. Great job, Alex. Phenomenal. Go ahead, Mike. Mike, this is what they want you to look it up.
I did. It came up nothing.
He's doing that on purpose.
I got fuck it from Thailand.
Oh, there you go. So maybe that's what it is. Dancing Dog 60. We tried, Steph. We tried. They're still trying here. Steph, you're doing it again.
Nice,
at 86.
I'm hurting you, Steph. I'm hurting you.
Johnny Bravo. What is the first and the last movie that made you cry? Well, the last one that made me cry was the rewatch of Warrior. I talked about this. The first one I remember is now the one I remember really well is watching with my mom. Remember that movie Mask? Not The Mask, but Mask with Rocky.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Eric Stoltz.
Woo! That was tough.
Eric.
I remember saying to my mom, like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Ooh, I remember my first movie that really made me cry in the theater it's called My Life. It's Michael Keaton and Nicole.
I remember it.
Dude,
yeah.
All the dudes in the urinals bawling.
That's a tough one.
Movie.
That's a tough one.
Oh my gosh.
That's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Steph, you got last and first?
I think the first one was A Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore. It was so sad.
Is that a remake?
I don't know, but
wasn't Keanu Reeves? Wasn't Keanu Reeves in that also? A Walk to Remember?
It's Shane West, right?
No, but I thought Keanu Reeves was a movie called. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, and the last one was, I think it was Wicked.
Wicked for me was my last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Haskell 420 sent you the Zombie Strain trailer. All right, we'll have to check it out.
Okay.
Tyler, Google farts in Russian. What the hell is that going to do?
Is that what Picket means? Farts?
Maybe. Dancing Dog 60. What's your favorite Brady Bunch kid? Marsha? Favorite Brady Bunch kid?
Mine is the young kid because he's got
Marsha.
that gif where he's just like
Pork chops and apple. Oh, it's Bobby, right?
Yeah.
All right.
He's the best.
A Silva 88. Super sticker. Thank you. Roman, favorite Jim Carrey moment, scene. Oh man, there's so many different ones, but I'm trying to think that
there's so many in Liar Liar.
Yeah.
Where he is just so fucking good in that movie.
Funny.
The Bruce Almighty scene with him and Carell is one of my favorites of all time.
Oh yeah.
It's really, really good.
I think probably in the Grinch, when he's going through the mail. Yeah.
You know what kills me every time though is in the Truman Show, because it was definitely improv. He didn't do it on purpose. There's an extra. Do you guys know the Truman Show pretty well?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's right when he starts to like figure out what's going on. And there's an extra in the show and an extra for the movie that is like putting up something, and Jim Carrey just for some reason slaps the guy in the ass with this briefcase and runs away, and it was totally improv. It made no sense why he did it, and it kills me. It kills me every time I watch that movie. He slaps the guy in the ass with the briefcase and runs away. It's the best.
Hysterical.
Have you seen in Liar Liar where he appears in the background
as Fire Marshal Bill? It's the best.
Seeing the extra next
cracking
to
up, losing it. Yeah,
losing
it. Dancing Dog 60. Best dog film. Lassie, Beethoven. I'll tell you, the one that you want, one that's going to make you ball, is Marley and Me.
Marley and Me.
Oh
That's-
my god,
Marley
that
and Me.
movie broke
brutal.
me.
Oh, you know
Brutal.
what's good? It's based on the book. I think it's called A Dog's Life.
Oh, it's good.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, you know the other one is Hachi's. I think it's called Hachi's Tale.
Oh,
with-
yeah,
the
yeah.
Chinese dog.
But yes, but
I
it
think
well, it
it's
was based. It
Japanese.
was
Japanese dog?
Japanese, but it was based on a Japanese story from like the late 1800s. But Richard Gere did a movie with
Yeah.
that, and it's a tough one. But it's a
Yeah,
good
it
one.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake, can Army Hammer come back for Lone Ranger 2? Are they doing Lone Ranger 2?
I haven't
Please
seen
don't.
That
Lone
movie
Ranger
is not
1.
good, but
Yeah.
the last 20 minutes are awesome.
Wow. Okay. Gopal wasn't the Canada movie Sweet November. Which, no, that's a different movie. This is a movie he did a long
Glass
time ago.
House?
Not Glass House. It was a long time ago.
Letters from My House.
Yeah, go to sleep, will you?
The postman rings twice.
Yes, Stephanie Litz. First crier, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Latest was Wicked. You know, they're not
All
letting you
dogs
go,
to
Steph.
heaven.
They're not, Steph,
Okay,
they're doing it again. Jake S. A monster. You're seeing the magic happen in front of your eyes, Mike. A monster.
Do it,
A
baby.
monster calls. 12 Years Slave getting me every time. Yeah, man. Those are tough ones. 12 Years a Slave is a hard one to watch. Great
so
movie.
I
Hard
could
one to
never
watch.
rewatch
Yeah,
it.
Me either. It was a great movie. Dancing
Yeah.
Dog 60. Think Brad Bird ever gets a live action film again? I hope so. I mean,
After Ghost Protocol, he should.
Yeah,
That's
I
one of the
know.
best
I
Mission
know.
Impossibles.
it was. He had that one bad movie. Tyler, I was just trying to be funny with a fart joke and thought Russian was the answer. Give me a break. There. All right. So we're at 98.
Okay.
So
That was
Right.
great.
that
A
was a good
great
run.
try.
It was a
Yeah.
good run. All right. We've hit the 2-hour mark.
Ah,
But
fuck me.
well, Mike is a good shot. You almost did it. But Roxy
Yeah,
wins
we
the day.
did. But-
Thank you guys for being here today. I really appreciate it. As I was saying, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Make sure that you check out the Marvel reactions that we're doing. I've got Spider-Man coming out tomorrow. And got Thor coming out on Saturday, and then Black Panther on Tuesday. We have a lot of movies that'll be coming out soon. I'll be doing out of the theater reactions on that. But that's it. So thank you to Steph. Thank you to Mike. Thank you to all of you guys for being here. I really, really appreciate it. You guys rule. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.